MAGA Monday. We are live in the podcast studios, in the Perfect Timing Podcast studios, and you are live with Perfect Timing Podcast on a mega, magnificent, terrific Monday. Come on in, everybody. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Get your hey, what you got to say? MAGA, what you got to say? Hey, what you got to say? MAGA, what you got to say? Double tap hit the like button, man. We're going to have a good time, man. Good time. Double tap hit the like button, man. Welcome. We are in the Perfect Timing Podcast studios, and we're going to have another mega, magnificent Monday. Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, you just keep that MAGA hits coming, man. Yeah, man, you just keep it coming, man. You keep the MAGA. That's how the Democrats be crying. That's how the Democrats, but Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Come on in, double tap, hit that like button, man. Cause we're gonna keep just giving it out, man. We're gonna keep giving it out, man. We're gonna keep giving it and giving it and give. That's what we do on MAGA Magnificent Monday, man. Oh, we don't let up, man. We don't give all gas, no brakes. And I mean gas. We're going to talk about gas today. All gas. We breaking records. It's so hard to keep the propaganda going with people like me. If you wonder why the propaganda machine is working so hard, because it's so hard to keep the lies going. It's a spin cycle. A lot of us are caught up in the spin cycle, the washing machine of Democratic propaganda and lies keeps rotating, and it is beginning monotonous and sickening. But that's why Mega Magnificent Monday was created by Perfect Timing Podcast to bring you the realities. Double tap it like Miss Perfect Timing in the building. First in the chat, get shouted out. Without a doubt. What's up to you, mama? Hey, mega Monday. She know it, you know it. Put it in there. Look at them beautiful emojis. You want to look like Mrs. Perfect Timing? You got to subscribe, hit the plus sign, and join the channel. Membership has its privileges. I'm going to say it again. Membership has its privileges. Join the channel. Subscribe to the number one guy, the black guy with the tight eyes. You're watching right now, Perfect Timing Podcast, the black guy with the tight eyes talking about politics in America, geopolitics, domestic politics. Come on in, let's have a conversation. I'm going to share something with you that you did not know. Every day, that's my goal. Every day, some people have a goal. When they get up in the morning, they don't want to brush their teeth. Some of you are yuck mouth. They call you yuck mouth. You refuse to brush. You know what I'm saying? Some of you have a goal when you get up in the morning to not ever brush your teeth and be a yuck mouth. You know what I'm saying? You wake up and you choose violence. You know what I'm saying? You don't choose the toothbrush. You don't choose toilet paper. You choose to be a yuck mouth. You refuse to brush. So some of us on the Republican Party, what we feel like is, you know, when you try to kiss your mama goodbye and she smell your breath and she take you in the bathroom and brush your teeth, that's all we got to do. We got to take the Democrats in the bathroom and brush their teeth because we got a lot of yuck mouths out there, you know what I'm saying? So MAHA, everybody know what MAHA, can we get MAHA in the chat? It's a mega magnificent Monday. You see Mr. Perfect Timing, you read that right there. Mega, I'm gonna pin that to the chat right now. We're going to pin that so people know where you at. You at the Perfect Timing Podcast, and it's a mega magnificent Monday. It is a mega magnificent Monday. You understand what I'm saying? So, well, can we get a MAHA? Can we get an MAHA? Y'all remember that? BA. Y'all remember that Fantasia? That's what made Fantasia famous. See, the sexy red caricature is not new. The character that Jasmine Crockett plays on TV. Oh, no, it's not a new character. We're going to get into Jasmine Crockett. We're going to get into AOC. We're going to get into Minnesota. We're going to get into Ilhan Omar. I've been doing my job, man. This is why the Democrats can't stand us, man. It is so much work out here. I got work to do. I got work, baby. I got a job, baby. Exposing these Democrats, man. Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues. MAHA today, ha ha, MAHA. Yo, can I get that in the chat right now? Ha ha, MAHA. That's what we talk. Ha MAHA. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm feeling today. I'm gonna share something with you guys you did not know about MAHA. MAHA was dropping new. You know what I love about Trump? It's that they work on the weekends and they work in evenings. This is the most productive presidency. You could go through the Biden administration. You're going to find a lot of things they did wrong. Like I told you about Kamala Harris and being in Munich, and Joe Biden being the number one on U.S. policy in the Ukraine. So you're going to find, but Trump is working on the weekends. Trump is working on the evenings. Trump is working every day, Monday through Friday. What's Mega MAGA Monday? Yo, mama. What's Mega MAGA Monday? Yo, mama. You know what I'm saying? What's Mega MAGA Monday? What's Mega MAGA Monday? What's Mega MAGA Monday? Yeah, we're going to have a good time today, man. MAHA, M-A-H-A. We're going to talk about MAHA. We're going to talk about MAGA, Make America Healthy Again. Today's theme, as you look at my thumbnail, fire thumbnail, double tap it to like button, fire thumbnail, AOC partying up, tax the rich, but AOC is the... What a great thumbnail. What a great show we got for you today. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic? Tax the rich. Really, AOC, tax the rich. I got video of AOC with her rich ass. You know Jasmine Crockett is rich. So when AOC said tax the rich, was she talking about Jasmine Crockett and Jasmine Crockett's $1 million education, $70,000 a year college tuition? Did you guys know Harvard? Just a little sidestep because we're getting started. Did you guys know that Harvard has lowered tuition costs to almost zero for low-income families because of the diversity DEI decision by SCOTUS in the Supreme Court? You know, we could have a debate about some things. Just because I'm Republican don't mean I agree with every Republican decision. One decision is what happened at the Ivy League schools and the numbers changing. And what the problem is with Harvard is you only had about 10 students. I was educated in elite white institutions, PWIs. You guys don't know what it feels like to be that one person, to be that one black person on campus. It's hard to learn. It's hard to grow. You need to work with people to grow. You need to work in these complex classes and complex courses. You got to work in groups. You know, you have to do group learning. So it's very difficult to be there. Harvard understands. This is not new. This is not new. Harvard knows this. The PWIs know this. So they want to get the numbers up to have diversity. Diversity doesn't just help the minority students. Diversity helps all of the students and the faculty, because the faculty needs to understand America is a melting pot. We have a mixture of people, great diversity. You know what? I was listening to JD Vance, and I love JD Vance. How many people like JD Vance? I love, hey boss, I love you boss. I love JD Vance, and we've been talking about a lot of times on my channel. We get into theocracy and the fact of the framers who wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and what's so great about America, the religious freedoms that we have here that you don't have in the Islamic theocracy. I've explained to my audience many times what would it be like to live in a theocracy where you did not have the freedom of religion to choose to be faith, whatever faith, or not have faith at all. Do you know what it's like to live in a theocracy where you cannot speak against the monolith that is coinciding within the culture of the country? This is what I talked about when I talked about Europe and Japan and having Islamic immigrants come into European countries, and then they bring this Islamic theocracy, or people are calling it some type of emperor type of syndrome, where then now, even this is happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where you have Islamic people telling white women what to wear, how to dress, because you have so many Islamic theocracy type people who believe they have the right to tell people where to pray, how to pray, what to dress, and what to wear. So shout out to JD Vance, who was bringing out these points. Was it JD Vance? I can't remember who it was, but talking about how these ideologies don't jive with Western ideology, right? No, it might have been Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, JD Vance to me is interchangeable. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. But these things can't be left out. We got to talk about these things today. Like, we're going to have a good talk about MAHA. I'm going to share some things with you about Make America Healthy Again that you didn't know. I'm going to share some great information about Make America Great Again that you didn't know. The Epstein files have been released. You know, the great thing about the Epstein files being released is that they release, you know, who watched Stephen A. Smith? I like Stephen A. Smith. You know what was great about Stephen A. Smith and conservatives who don't happen to be white, who don't get caught up in the gobbledygook. Well, Stephen A. Smith said something that was great. Stephen A. Smith said, you know, these Epstein files that people keep saying they won't release, Biden could have released them. You know, Biden could have, you know, you worried about the Epstein files, right? You should be worried about your health care, right? This is the thing about America, right? I'm talking about health today, MAHA. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. So people think there's only one way for Americans to be healthy, right? And that's to wipe their ass. They want rich white people and the Republicans to wipe your ass, because if you don't wipe your ass, you can get dysentery and get disease and get sick, and then you want someone else to pay for your health care. So you want someone else to wipe your ass. There's another way for Americans to be healthy, and we're going to discuss it today. You know, we give out all this free. Last week I showed you $3,000 EBT card receipts. I told you about immigrants getting up to $50,000 in EBT because they went from state to state. So there's more than one way. So you're worried about trolling, but you should be worried about your health care. You should be worried about your health, because how many days till Christmas, babe? 10 days till Christmas. How many days till the ACA subsidies expire that Biden could have made permanent? Let's have a real talk. Since you want to talk and be an asshole, let's have a real talk this morning. How many days before the ACA subsidies expire and 14 million real Americans health insurance double, some of them triple, and that won't be funny. See, it wasn't funny when people were hungry for 43 days. I didn't get a lot of assholes in my chat saying a lot of stupid shit because people were hungry. After 15 days, after 20 days, after 25 days of hunger, I know people were there. There was not a lot of energy to troll because you were hungry. You were trying to figure out where I'm gonna get my food, because it's obvious the food ain't coming. It was 43 days and people had to refocus on what was a priority. Do you understand what I'm saying? People had to refocus on what is a priority in America, right? The priority was getting food. But today, and this is the thing about the millennial generation A and Z and B and all this bullshit, when you should be worrying about, in fact, this conversation today is about MAHA. You're watching the #1 conversation on YouTube for geopolitics. We're talking about politics. We ain't talking about claymation. We ain't talking about animation. We ain't talking about masturbation. We're talking about politics in the nation. So we're not talking about any of that shit. And the real reality is 14 to 21 million Americans. This is not no little bit of number. This is a large number of Americans. They health care will go up. Do you understand? 21 million Americans health care double in a matter of days. In a matter of days, people are going to get hit. You know when I talk to my wife, when I mentor people, the young people don't understand. You don't think far enough ahead. So while you playing around in the chat, what you need to understand is that a big, beautiful bill changes went into effect. Everybody on welfare has to recertify coming in January. Let me share something. #1 tip I'm going to share with you that you didn't know. Right now, if you happen to be on welfare, EBT, we're going to talk about welfare EBT bans today. But if you happen to be on welfare, EBT, or entitlements, you typically only have to register once a year. People may wonder, how is it people are getting $10,000? How is it that people are getting food stamps in multiple states? Well, as it stands now, before the big, beautiful bill was enacted and passed into law, signed into law July 4th, rolling out incrementally over the next 4 years. Did you know the big, beautiful bill is rolling out incrementally over the next 4 years? Well, people will now have to recertify every 6 months. Right now, you only have to recertify once a year. How many people knew you only had to recertify for your entitlements, your welfare, your EBT, your WIC, your free rent? How many people knew America gave all this out and were giving it out to immigrants who happen not to be citizens, and giving out billions of dollars to Somalians in Minnesota? A lot of people don't even know how the system works. Well, typically you only have to register and prove that you're homeless, prove that you're hungry, prove that you're disabled once a year. So people lie, right? And no one ever reinvestigates, right? No one ever comes back to double check to see whether or not these individuals actually, I'm a melt in here today. I should have cut my heater off. I'm a fucking melt in here today. I'm a fucking melt in here today because the bullshit and the heater fucking. Ooh, you know, I got the heater fixed, but I'm about to be pissed off for the devil trying to play with me in here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to melt me in this motherfucker, man. Uh, Double tap at the like button. I haven't been on assistance in a decade, so I can't speak on that. You need that concept of playing your MAGA maggots. Say, you out of here, man. So what we're talking about today is a lot of changes coming in the next couple weeks. Right now, I'm educating people on the fact that the American care, the Obamacare is expiring in days. Some of us are waiting for Santa Claus, right? Some of us are waiting for Santa Claus, right? Some of us are waiting for Santa. My neighbor has this beautiful display, right? I live in a beautiful area in a beautiful home, HOA. You know, they decorate. They pay people to come put lights on their house. That's the kind of neighborhood I live in. People pay a lot of money, like thousands of dollars, and have men in trucks and these huge houses putting lights for Christmas. One of the neighbors has a sign counting down the days until Christmas. How many people know the days until Christmas? There's only 10 or so days until Christmas. The real number, though, for Americans who pay rent, because this is the thing about the Democrats that's so sinister. Okay, so you have these deadlines, right? But you have to pay rent or mortgage on January 1st. So there are people who will have tripling Medicare costs along with higher rent to pay. Now, how do they afford that, right? And we still don't have a budget. January 30th, we're on a continuing resolution. We're on a stopgap bill. So we haven't even discussed a lot of the things that's going to come. The big beautiful bill will be implemented incrementally. Double tap at the like button. I don't have enough likes. So we got 10 or 12 days until Santa gets here. So that means we got 14 or 15 days before 21 million Americans have their Medicaid get 8 million going to get kicked off of Medicaid. 8 million people probably gonna get kicked off. 21 million people gonna have their health insurance double and increase and go up. These are real facts that Americans are gonna be dealing with in a couple of days. So let's stay focused on the topic this morning. Let's not get into a lot of bullshit and troll. Let's deal with the reality. Today is a MAHA discussion. Anybody know what MAHA means? Double tap at the like button. Put MAHA in the chat. Put MAHA in the chat. MAHA. We talking about MAGA and MAHA. Make America Healthy Again. Robert F. Kennedy. How many people are so happy with the Trump cabinet and the Trump administration? Trump has empowered some people you would think never would get the possibility of Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. All of these people have been on the outs because the Democratic left did not want you to hear any truth. I remember listening to RFK. You know that 4 years under Biden, that was a long 4 years. That 4 years under Biden, it felt like a decade. Didn't it feel like a decade? For those of us intellectuals who knew that Fauci was lying, Fauci got pardoned in a late night, midnight auto pen pardon last minute. Fauci, you should feel like shit. Why should Fauci feel like shit? Fauci got a pardon with Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is the lowest piece of shit on earth that is still living. To go lower than Hunter Biden, you got to go to Epstein. Hunter Biden and Epstein is like this, but Fauci got a pardon on the same level as Hunter Biden. That's much of a piece of shit he is. This is just the reality. Those 4 years felt like a decade for intellectuals who knew Fauci was lying, right? So RFK, a lot of us listened to RFK give truths over those 4 years. RFK was able, Robert F. Kennedy was able to say a lot of things intellectuals thought, but we couldn't say because YouTube had banned a lot of us. YouTube took down my videos. I work in healthcare for over 20 years. There are some things that some healthcare providers said during the pandemic that I knew was emphatically a lie. Because I worked for Kaiser for 20 years. Before that, I worked in biotech. I am intimately familiar with the FDA filing process because I worked at a biotech firm in Napa, right? We filed FDA. We went through clinical trials, right? What was the company we worked with in North Carolina? The company we worked with in North Carolina was called AAI. That was the lab that did our clinical trials. I was intimately involved in things going from an idea. My boss was the head of pharmaceutical development. My boss was the head of pharmaceutical development. So he had a PhD in pharmacokinetics, right? So he was the guy who looked at the periodic table, right? And I was very interested because I had a periodic table on my wall. That reminds me to buy one for my kids. I had a periodic table on my wall. I knew all 91 of the elements as a child. There's more now, but as a child, when I went to school, like I told you in my elite education, I had a periodic table on my wall, in my room, in my classroom, at home, and I had all of the elements memorized. So when I met my boss, I didn't know what I didn't know what pharmacokinetics was. I didn't know you could have a PhD, but I did when he explained it to me and he showed me H2O, I never realized that H2O was an equation. So he broke down to me, and I love math, that H2O was an equation, and he explained to me, this is what we do, this is how you make medication. Right? When you see H2O, hydrogen, oxygen, and the two, this is mathematics. And we do the same thing with the periodic table to make medication. So I look at the elements, I see what the elements could do. I look at what humans may need or what is profitable. I combine the elements with mathematics to create a new substance that you can ingest, and it's supposed to make you better. This is like old witchcraft, but it's pharmacokinetics, right? So because of my intimate knowledge of pharmacokinetics, biotech, and FDA filings, I understood that Fauci was full of shit before a lot of people knew Fauci was full of shit. So when Fauci got a pardon, I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But when I understood that when RFK was made head of the CDC, you know how happy intellectuals were. You know how happy people who actually understood the FDA filing process, who work in healthcare, who know biotech. When RFK got the job, it was almost like a dream come true. And today we are going to talk about a dream being realized, correct? We already had the Tylenol. We already had, this is great information. Do you know when RFK and Dr.Oz came out with the information about Tylenol during pregnancy, everybody made jokes. It kind of reminded me of the pandemic under Biden. Remember under Biden, all the black comedians made fun of people. Oh, you put drugs and alcohol in your body. Why not put this experimental vaccine in your body? You're an idiot if you don't, right? So Dr. Oz are professionals, people with real experience, done the research, come out with this data, not just words, but Trump didn't say it. Trump reiterated it, but doctors and scientists come out with this data about pregnancy, right? About children and this particular over-the-counter medication and how it may have, if it's just a little bit, if it's my baby, if it's my wife, if it's my pregnancy, if it's just a little bit of chance that the baby could get sick or become, why wouldn't you want that information? See, that information was being held from you. Thank God. Can we get MAHA? Let's go, MAHA. Let's go, MAHA. But people don't understand. But I am talking about, we're laying a foundation today. We are laying a foundation for our MAHA discussion. We are laying a foundation for our MAHA discussion, Make America Healthy Again. And we are going to talk about the Affordable Care Act subsidies expiring that Biden could have made permanent. Why is it important? Why is this important? The Affordable Care Act expiring because MAHA, in lieu of the Democrats being able to come up with a good Affordable Care Act, because the Democrats made a shitty bill and turned it into a law. Remember, Barack Obama said we need to make the Affordable Care Act better because it was supposed to be taxpayer. We're supposed to have free healthcare, but he said he couldn't do that, right? He couldn't do that. So they came up with this other bullshit. The whole thing we voted for with Barack Obama was supposed to do socialized healthcare, but Barack Obama doubled back. Remember Barack Obama with his slick black ass? You guys don't know shit about Barack Obama and the Democrats, do you? What did you actually vote for? It's so hilarious. Brian Box says they are saying acetaminophen causes autism. Autism has existed before Tylenol, yet psilocybin is still on the schedule. They did not say that acetaminophen causes autism, right? This is someone who, thank you for the super chat, brother. And anybody who wants to address me and address my claims, perfect way to do that is to put it in the super chat. Thank you for following YouTube protocol. Now, I will address this comment. They never said acetaminophen directly causes autism. If they would have did that, Dr. Oz could have lost his license, and I could lose my channel. No one ever said acetaminophen directly causes autism. What I just said, I know you were probably typing. I do that a lot. When I'm watching people, I'll be typing. I'm not listening. What I just said, if there's any percentage or chance, wouldn't you want to know? If it's my baby, if it's my wife, if it's our pregnancy, and there's any percentage that her taking this over, I want to know all about that. You know what you see a lot now? You see a lot about tomatoes. People my age, there's a lot of videos about tomatoes, about arthritis. Now, does tomatoes cause arthritis? Let's have this intelligent conversation, right? Brian, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Double tap, hit the like button. A lot of people have saw the reports about tomatoes. There is scientific data. There is laboratory scientific data about the lectins and the tomatoes actually being linked to an inflammation and arthritis patients, right? No one can deny that. This is why doctors are confident about putting out the information that has been around for a long time in folklore, but now with the social media apparatuses that we have, you have doctors putting out that tomatoes can be linked, right? But to say that it's bad information, right? Listen to my logic. To say it's bad information because tomatoes and lectins don't have this causation effect with everybody over a certain age, but the percentages are high enough that doctors feel confident to share the information. And it's not prescribed, it's medical knowledge, right? To let people know over a certain age that if you're having arthritis pain and you eat a lot of tomatoes or lectins, this may be something you could look at and hopefully maybe it helps you. This is the same thing with the acetaminophen and Tylenol during pregnancy. It's not saying stop eating tomatoes. No doctor could say stop eating tomatoes. Tylenol is still on the market. Just like you talked about psilocybin. Tylenol is still, you can still buy acetaminophen. No one made acetaminophen illegal. It's the same knowledge as the tomatoes. We eat a banana when you have a cramp because of potassium. Does it work for everybody? Is there a cause and effect? Has there been laboratory science behind the banana and the potassium and to cramp relief? Yes. But will it work for everybody? No. Does that mean do not suggest a banana if someone is having a Charlie horse? No. Does that mean I won't bring up tomatoes if my patient is having arthritis pain? No. Does that mean I won't educate a pregnant woman on the possible causation and correlation of acetaminophen during pregnancy? It's up to her if she wants to take it, but why not give her the knowledge? It's up to her if she wants to take it, but why not tell elderly people suffering from arthritis about lectins, about tomatoes? We don't outlaw tomatoes. We haven't outlawed acetaminophen, correct? In today's topic about sodas, junk food, chocolate, do you realize we haven't outlawed sodas? Hello? We haven't outlawed junk food. Do you understand the illogical statement you made? Thank you. Diet matters. Diet matters. We haven't outlawed soda. We haven't outlawed junk food. We haven't outlawed potato chips. If you have a motherfucking job, if you have a J-O-B, if you, I got work to do. If you have a job and a paycheck, you can buy the soda with your money. If you have a job and a paycheck, you can buy the chocolate and the junk food with your money. But because the Affordable Care Act subsidies are expiring, they directly affect low-income individuals. Low-income individuals are the one on EBT, right? The low income, but what's also true about the low income, their diet. The low-income individuals have a bad diet, but we subsidize that bad diet with EBT and SNAP. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So we have the Affordable Care Act. We have obesity outrageously expanding in our country. We have obesity, cancer, and sickness, diabetes. But we have this free health. We have this program with $42 billion of free food, basically drugs. Food is a drug to overweight people. Believe me, I've been obese most of my life. Food is a drug, and it can be a deadly drug. Some people say sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Sugar is more addictive and more deadlier than cocaine. Did you guys know that? Look it up. Don't just say anything in the chat. It's reversible, type 2 diabetes. Based on what? So how do we help Americans? How do we help? Sugar is a gateway drug. How do we help Americans who will lose their health coverage in a matter of days? There are millions of minorities and low-income Americans who will be affected by the Affordable Care Act subsidies expiring. Now, I have talked to you a lot about the one big beautiful bill and the changes to entitlements, registering for food stamps, the 20 hours of work week. But this Affordable Care Act subsidies expiring is not Trump. Do you understand? The big beautiful bill extends Trump taxes that he created in his first term that Biden did not do away with. Now, Trump made them permanent in the big beautiful bill. Biden never made anything permanent. Do you realize what is going to happen at the end of the month? At the end of the month, some of the poorest people who need the Affordable Care Act will lose their coverage or need to pay more money. These same people get EBT, but see the problem, this is a circular debate where these individuals who are crying about their Medicare about to go up have horrible diet. Put it in the chat. They have a horrible diet subsidized by American dollars. So wait a minute. You have high blood pressure, you have type 2 diabetes, and you're obese. But wait a minute. You're a minority and you're low income. How are you obese and you don't have a job? How are you obese suffering from type 2 diabetes, which someone just put in the chat is reversible? But most of the low income minorities in the country have these diseases. You can look at them in any chart. We have the most hypertension, the most type 2 diabetes, the most high blood, the sugar. Black people call it the sugar. High blood pressure. But the issue is that's so sick is that the people with these diseases in high numbers, do you know you can inherit high blood pressure? You can inherit, it's epigenetic. You can inherit alcoholism. You can inherit obesity. You can inherit high blood pressure. So the same poor minorities who are suffering from this health crisis go to stores with government subsidized EBT cards and buy poison. They buy poison to create the cycle of death. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about this morning? So where's all the hypertension coming from? Where's all the diabetes coming from? It's coming from the sugar. It's coming from the drug, the food, the peak processed junk food that is purchased with EBT cards in abundance. How many Americans go into Walmart and the First and you see overweight minorities with a cart full of processed goods, and you see swollen ankles, right? And you see swollen big backs, and they got top ramen, and they got all type of cookies and cakes and sodas in the basket. And you got to say to yourself, I can't afford those things, but thank God I can't afford those things, because I might have a big back. I might have swollen ankles if I could afford to purchase all. So I got a list. When I go into the grocery store, I got a list. How many people shop with a list? How many people go into the grocery store and I can't afford everything on my list? I can't afford. How many people go into the grocery store with a list of needs, necessities, milk, water, bread, meat, and I can't afford everything. There's no cookies, cakes, pastries, pies, soda, none of that shit on my list, and I still can't afford everything. But I see a motherfucker, big backed, swollen ankled motherfucker with a cart full of shit. Processed goods up the yin yang, and I know that motherfucker got high blood pressure, and I know they ain't got a job. Who paying for your high blood pressure medication? Who paying for your high as you get free food stamps, and I can see your ass got high blood pressure, hypertension. Who paying for your doctor visit? Who paying for your doctor visit? I want to know who paying for your doctor visit. So everybody, I just want to lay a foundation for the Democrats who are going to talk shit at the end of the month about people going to feel pain about their Medicare subsidies that the Democrats could have made permanent. So what is MAHA doing? MAHA just put out a ban. Y'all want to start the show? Let's start the show. What is MAHA? What is MAHA doing to help America stay? Do you know what MAHA? Can I get a MAHA in the chat? MAHA. Can I get a MAHA in the chat? It's Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, right? So we got all these issues with EBT. We got all these issues with entitlements. We got all these issues with obesity. We got all these issues with no special forces. How do we deal with it, right? Well, policy. I remember I played Christy Noam. Trump appointed another very functional, prolific woman, and she said, "Stop complaining. If you don't like it, change the law." You know what gay people did in America? When gay people didn't like their current station, they didn't bitch and moan like people do today. They changed the law. They made gay marriage legal. They could have bitched and moaned and complained. That never would have changed their station. Hello? Double tap at the like button. Double tap hit the like button. Gay people were treated like I'm 55,000 years old. I remember when gay marriage was illegal and people treated and said nasty things about gay people. Did they bitch and complain? Did they shame, blame, and explain? No, gay people became politically advantageous. You have Pete Buttigieg, just to mention one, but they became part of an integral part of the government. They took over the DNC, rewrote the platform, and changed policy. They made gay marriage a law. So you can bitch and complain. You can bitch and complain, Democrat leftists, or you can change the policy and be Americans. We have the greatest system in the globe. In America, you can actually change the law. Roe versus Wade was considered to be untouchable. Politics, political maneuvering, getting a Supreme Court that is right-leaning. Now, Roe versus Wade is back to the states, and it was a great argument. The Supreme Court doesn't make law. This is a great discussion when we talk about the budget, the Affordable Care Act, the big, beautiful bill. If you understand the appropriations process and how a bill becomes law, then you understand that Roe versus Wade and abortion never went through that process. And Kamala Harris promised, if you elect me, and isn't it funny? She was vice president at the motherfucking time. She had the power to bring a bill. Did you know the vice president gets the vote? The president will get the vote. The president signs the bill into law. The vice president gets the vote. The bitch could have brought a bill. The bitch could have brought a bill. But instead, she gave you a promise. If you vote for me, then I'll make abortion a federal law. No, wait a minute, Kamala. Wait a minute, Democrats. Why would you make that a campaign promise if what Trump's Supreme Court did was wrong? You notice nobody ever tried to fight the Supreme Court and say it was illegal or not constitutional when they pushed abortion back to the states. No one ever argued against the Supreme Court because they understood that it was a fallacy from the beginning. That is not how you create a law. Now, I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm just explaining to you how things become a law. It never went through the appropriations process and became a law. Do you understand what we're talking about today? Unhealthy foods. This is another comment from Brainbox, another $4.99 donation. Unhealthy foods are initially cheap, affecting low-income individuals solely. Alcohol, cigarettes, poison is being consumed to build our GDP. I have to give you your props. That's a great comment. I'm glad you put it in the super chat so we can read that out loud so people can learn from that intelligent comment. Today, we're talking about MAHA, Robert F. K. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, MAGA. Can we get a thank you, Donald Trump, in the chat? We're talking about Donald Trump, who appointed RFK and RFK's brand new legislation. Because right now, the Democrats stopped talking about it. The Democrats stopped talking about, I don't know why. If I was a Democrat podcaster, if I was a Democrat and I had a platform, every day I would put up how many days to the Affordable Care Act expires. They don't care about you. Remember, I played a video of a white woman saying the Democrats don't care about the victims because in 2019, they were still friends with Jeffrey Epstein after he had been convicted. Do you guys know he was being investigated in 2019? Stacey Plaskett was still talking to Jeffrey Epstein like a friend. He was being investigated. He had already got convicted. The Democrats don't care, brother and sister. The Democrats don't care. The Affordable Care Act, these temporary subsidies could have been made permanent during the Biden administration. Instead, Biden made them temporary. Now they're going to expire. What solutions does MAGA have? What solutions does MAHA have? Let's talk about solutions this morning. And I'm going to give you some details and information that you haven't heard anywhere else. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to give you details and information that you haven't heard anywhere else, right? Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like. I'm gonna give you information you haven't heard anywhere else. All right. Double tap, hit the like button. American flags, Patriots, lock in. This is the ultimate mace-based MAGA podcast. Pumps dropping prices, crushed soda cans, Patriots lock in. This is the ultimate podcast, December 2025. AOC out here dropping donor cash on luxury Puerto Rico blowouts at Bad Bunny box seats while she's screaming tax the rich. Meanwhile, Trump and RFK are delivering real wins, banning taxpayer-funded junk on EBT in 18 states. I'm going to give you every state by state what's being banned because it's a different ban in each state. So I want my people and my audience to be educated. I don't want you to be embarrassed on January 1st when you go buy your EBT and certain things and you don't have the cash to pay for certain items. You're going to make long lines. So I'm going to do my part to educate people. Check this out. I said taxpayer-funded junk food is being banned in 18 states and unleashing energy dominance to drop gas under $3, the lowest prices since 2021. Who really fighting for the people? I want to know in the chat right now. Is it AOC in the squad? Put a 1 in the chat. If you think AOC in the squad is fighting for the people, put a 2 in the chat if you think Trump, MAHA, and MAGA is the ones really fighting for the people. The elite socialists are MAHA warriors. We're going deep with receipts, clips, and no mercy. Smash the like button. When you're done, the hypocrisy, we're going to blow this one up right now. Let's go into detail. Under the Trump administration, Make America Healthy Again push, USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins with HHS Secretary RFK Jr. has approved waivers for 18 states to restrict SNAP purchases of sugary drinks, candy, and other low nutritional items. No nationwide ban yet, but these state level changes kick in mostly in January 2026, aiming to curb obesity, diabetes, fueled by taxpayer-funded junk. Did you know that? 18 states. 18 states. That's what we talk about today. 18 states. Double tap at the like button, man. I'm getting melted in this mug today, man. The approved states match closely. Arkansas, Colorado, Florida. Write it down. In case you got family. In case you got family, write it down right now. Write it down right now. Everybody take the notes. Write it down. The approved states match Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and West Virginia. Double tap at the like button. What are we talking about today? I said that 18 states are banning junk food. I just read the list. If you're coming in late right now, I'm going to ask a big favor to everybody watching right now. Right now. If you're watching and you're learning something, if you've never heard this information before, if you're being entertained, I'm going to ask you a big favor. Double tap, hit the like button. If you're watching on your computer, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. When you get the subscription, hit the plus sign. Today, we're talking about MAHA, Robert F. Kennedy, RFK, and the Make America Healthy Again initiative has banned junk food. Well, let me say it. I know that's a sensational way to say it, but 18 states have been granted waivers. 18 states have been granted waivers to ban junk food. Everybody listening, can you imagine your boss at work posting goofy AI memes? No one can because it's not professional. Stop supporting goofy clowns. Man, I'm not even gonna say nothing because that person probably is on food stamps. They probably a lizard is probably on food stamps and he's upset that he can't buy a soda no more. EBT, before you take my stamps away. EBT, before you take my stamps away. Trump. Remember when I made my EBT song and I said, I drink Coke out the bottle. I drink Coke out the bottle, baby. That's why I need my EBT. See, he need his EBT so he could buy soda. Well, no more soda. No more soda, no more cakes, cookies, and pies because the Affordable Care Act subsidies are expiring. Are you reading the messages in my chat? Are you reading the messages in my chat about the obesity, about the type 2 diabetes, about the hypertension, and how it plagues low-income individuals? And the low-income individuals are the ones who are purchasing the soda that is making them sick and actually killing them. But the problem is they don't have jobs to pay for the health care. We pay for hypertension coverage. We pay for diabetes. We're paying the American taxpayer is footing the bill twice. It's actually, you should be upset. You should be upset. You're paying 2 times. If you don't have food stamps, do you understand how they are taking money from you twice? You pay for the food that gets them sick, right? And then when they go to the doctor sick without a job and need health care, guess who's paying the doctor bill? They're not paying the fucking doctor bill. They don't have a fucking job. They have fucking EBT. Now they get to buy fucking poison with the food stamp card. That makes them sick. Then they go to the doctor with diabetes, hypertension, obesity, without a job, and they want you and Obama to pay for the fucking medical bill. That's what we talk about today. That's what we talk about today. See, as the Affordable Care Act expires, why don't you learn more about it, right? That's right. And giving pills. They give them pills. Yeah, if you want the junk food, you can work for it. If you want the junk food, you can work for it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. The approved states, these are the approved states. Let's write it down, everybody. Thank you. Let's get into it. Double tap it. Let me read that super chat. I saw that super chat, man. I got another. Did I read both super chats? I want to make sure. Open a live call line. Love to pick your brain. Oh, man, I will do a live call line because you can't really do much on the vertical line. But in January and in 2026, YouTube is going to expand the vertical line. Right now, the vertical live is limited and I can have guests and things like that. But YouTube understands how popular this vertical forum is, right? So they're going to expand and give us more things we can do with the vertical live. So you guys just keep on hanging out. Make sure you subscribe. You already here. It's December 2025. 2026, YouTube is going to be doing great things with the platform and the vertical live stream. You're in the right place if you want to have a political debate. You see people disagreeing with me in the chat. You are allowed to disagree. If you want me to address, go ahead. I see somebody just put a paragraph in the chat. Go ahead and put that in the super chat. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Brainbox said again, there are some things that I agree with what the United States Secretary of Health is doing, but government authority still makes me uneasy. Don't ever trust the government. No, that's not what the Constitution. That's when I talk about when I went into my little tangent on Islamic theocracy and what I heard Charlie Kirk talk about and JD Vance reiterate on Islamic theocracy. You always, well, this is why we have the Second Amendment. You always question the government. That's a good American. A good American understands. That's why so many Generation X like myself are upset with millennials, because they company men. A lot of the Generation X, Generation Z and millennials and Gen A, they are company men. Whenever I go to Walmart or Macy's, the young people who work there care more about Macy's than they do their fellow American. We were never like that. When I was young, if you came into McDonald's and I'm a manager, if you come after school and you want ice cream and you got a backpack, I'm hooking up all the kids. The young people today, they kick the little kids out the McDonald's, they cuss them out, they make videos, they are cruel. They don't understand community, they don't understand being American. When we were young, if you were a kid and you came into the movie theater, if you came into McDonald's, I'm giving you a soda, I'm giving you a water cup, all that shit. McDonald's is $1 billion company. I don't give a fuck about a water cup for a kid just walking home from school. I was that kid walking home from school. So here, go your water cup. Go get you a little soda, go walk home. That shit stop. That shit stop. We live in a nation of company men. Yes, you should question authority. That's why we have the Second Amendment. A lot of people don't understand. They think the Second Amendment is just to have a gun, to shoot people, to protect people. The Second Amendment is not entrenched in you protecting yourself against Americans. It's protecting yourself against the government, bro. That's what the Second Amendment is about. Not shooting your fellow American. We're family. We're brothers. It's the greatest country in the world. We need to learn how to get along and love each other. That's what this is all about. The framers understood everything you said, Brainbox. The framers, I don't trust nobody 100%. I'm an American, red, white, and blue. It's God. It's God family country. God family football, bro. God first. God first, bro. These rights that we have, the Bill of Rights, are God-given inalienable rights. Do you know America and the Bill of Rights? Nothing like this existed in the world before. There were no political apparatuses like America and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution before the creation of the Americans. Do you know that? And when Americans created the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, and it improved the rights of blacks, minorities, and women globally. When the women went through the Suffrage Act and got the vote in America, no women could vote. No women in the globe had political mobility, right? No women. It took America, it took Western society to say that women could vote and be in politics, and then it rippled globally. Then you have Martha and all these motherfuckers in Europe across the world, and you have female Japanese prime ministers, but nothing until the Bill of Rights, until the Constitution. And women did, you know what's so powerful and magical about this moment we're having right now? Women did not, blacks did not have these rights when these documents were created. But you know what is so magical and great about these documents? These documents created a pathway and an apparatus. So whenever you hear a Democrat liberal bitching and complaining, remind them. Whenever you hear a Democrat and a liberal bitching and complaining, remind them that the apparatus existed and women had to get off their ass. Yeah, women created a suffrage movement. Blacks had to get off their ass, and they utilized these documents to make themselves. Gay people had to get off their ass, and they utilized the greatest documents ever created by man to change their station. Do you guys understand what really fucking happened? Do you understand where you really are? This is a great point. This is a great topic about trusting the government, trusting American. You guys don't get it, do you? When the Constitution and the Bill of Rights were written, it was written as a moving, growing, living document. And those of you who don't understand that, don't understand how women use these documents to acquire equal rights, how my blacks and minorities use these great documents in the articles to double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. Double tap. Nobody had women in power. You just saying stupid shit. Nobody had women in politics. There was no parliament. World War I and I'm talking about the 1776. See how people just say stupid shit? I'm talking about 1770. We talking about the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Name one woman. Somebody in the chat, somebody said, name one president. Name one woman. Because there were no states. There were no presidents. There were only kings before America. There were only kings and emperors. Japan, when we went to World War I, there was an emperor in Japan. Do you guys understand? Hawaii had a queen before the white dole colonizers took over Hawaii. Hawaii had a queen. Hawaii had a queen. Hawaii had queen royalty. In the Philippines, a king and a queen. Do you understand? There were no presidents and prime ministers until Western society was invented. What is this clown talking about? What is this clown talking about? There was no prime minister. There was no female presidents, prime ministers, congresswomen, and aldermen, and none of that shit before the Western society was created. Are you smoking dope? You must be smoking dope. All there was royalty, huh? We were the nation. This was a grand idea, a city on the hill where we got away from royalty. We're not a theocracy. We have religious freedom, and we can swear and pray to who we want. This is the greatest country in the world. I should have had 100 likes 5 minutes ago. Let's get them likes up, y'all. Let's get them likes up, y'all. Double tap at the like button. Let's get them likes up, y'all. We starting off our lead story. And I just don't understand how I am sweating this motherfucking much today, boy. Our lead story is the food stamp ban. And let me see what I got on this food stamp ban. My lead story today is the food stamp ban in 18 states. And I just read the U.S. has barred the purchase of soda, candy, and other junk food items from food stamp benefits. That's the main story we have in today. Big Soda seems to be paying off influencers to oppose a ban on using SNAP funds to purchase soda. Since SNAP is a taxpayer-funded program, the government has every right to add soda to the prohibited items list. No, I follow all these accounts, but disagree with them on this. Clown World, the government wants to block soda purchases for Americans on SNAP. Remember when NYC tried this and it completely backfired? President Trump proudly had a Diet Coke button in the Oval Office. This is ridiculous. Government overreach. Let people decide for themselves. Now, how do you compare a billionaire and his ability to buy Coca-Cola if he wanted, the whole fucking company, and then compare that to a motherfucker who can't even wipe their own ass? This is the illogic that we have in America right now. This person, and it's true, it should be called Clown World, is trying to compare a billionaire who can buy Coke for everybody in the world to someone who can't afford to wipe their own ass. If you need me to pay for your health care, if you need me to pay your rent, then yeah, I get to tell you whether or not you can buy soda, because soda is poison. And you can afford to pay for your hypertension medication. It would be different if you were a billionaire and when you went to the doctor, you weren't going to ask me. You weren't going to cry when the Affordable Care Act subsidies expired. Can we have a real talk this morning? I said it would be different if you weren't crying when the Affordable Care Act expires and you could pay for your own Medicare. If you could pay for your own Medicaid and Medi-Cal, then we will not be having this conversation, because you can't afford the cancer treatment. You can't afford the hypertension, diabetes, type 2 that can be cured. No, you don't get to have soda. 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 The Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and West Virginia. Key restrictions vary state by state. Soda/soft drinks banned in nearly all. Candy, most states. Energy drinks, several energy drinks. Florida, Louisiana, Nebraska. I got to break down the state by state. Let's go state by state, man. Here's a state by state breakdown of the 18 approved SNAP food restriction waivers under the Make America Healthy Again initiative. Restrictions primarily target sugary drinks, sodas, soft drinks, often including diet, artificially sweetened, candy, energy drinks, and sometimes prepared desserts. Hostess went out of business once. Let's put Hostess back out. Did y'all know that? And prepared desserts. Low juice beverages, most kick in January 1st, 2026, with few variations noted. Details compiled from the USDA. I got this information from the USDA. If you want to double check my facts, Arkansas, right now, everybody in the South who got family in the South, double tap, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, get your pen and paper ready. I'm about to give you information. Arkansas bans soda, including low to no calorie, so it don't even matter. A lot of people gonna say, what if I get 0 calorie? What if I get diet? No soda on your food stamp EBT card in Arkansas. Write it down, take notes. Remember who told you first. Perfect timing podcast. No soda, including low calorie and even no calorie. No candy on food stamps in Arkansas. No fruit/vegetable drinks with less than 50% natural juice. I'm gonna say that again. No Minute Maid, no Fruit Splash, no Country Time, no Kool-Aid, no none of that shit. No Grape or Red. Hey, Peanut. Hey, Peanut, make me some Kool-Aid. What kind of Kool-Aid? Grape or Red? Huh? Grape or red? Did you hear that? I said, Peanut, make me some Kool-Aid. Peanut said, what kind of Kool-Aid do you want? Grape or red? As we talk about diabetes, you can't make this up. What kind of Kool-Aid you want? Grape or red? Do you understand why we have a problem with diabetes? Why we have a problem with obesity? Why we have a problem? Because the choices are grape or red. Put it in the chat right now. grape or red, no more. Not in Arkansas. And it says other unhealthy drinks effective July 1st. So incrementally. So it's going to be incremental. Arkansas is going to ban more food. Arkansas is starting with banning soda, fruit and vegetable drinks less than 50%. But it says here, this will be effective, but it's going to go to July 1st when they're going to add more stuff. Colorado bans sugary beverages, soft drinks, including those with artificial sweeteners. That could include a meridian of things. Florida bans soda, energy drinks, candy, and prepared desserts. That's the hostess. That's the hostess with the mostest. One of the broader ones, including ready-to-eat sweets. That's the hostess cakes. That's the tasty cakes. That's the honey buns. That's the it's Christmas time. You know them little Christmas, them nasty zebra cakes. That's the zebra cakes, the Christmas trees, the zebra cakes, the ho-hos, the ding-dongs, the Twinkies. You can buy them if you have a job, if you have cash, but no more junk on food stamps. Let's make America MAHA, MAHA. Let's make America MAHA, MAHA, MAHA. Hawaii bans soft drinks, carbonated beverages with more than 10 grams of sugar per serving. It excludes milk-based or 50% juice drinks. So Hawaii, with them big motherfuckers and all their health problems, is going limited on the ban. Hawaii, you going soft, Hawaii. You're going soft because you got some big motherfuckers over there, and you know, you need to really cut back, Hawaii, on all that spam and rice and sodas, and it excludes milk. Because of that, it's a culture in Hawaii with the milk-based drinks, but it's unhealthy, bro. It's MAHA. And man. Idaho bans soft drinks, candy effective January 1st. So Idaho, the potato state, bans soda and soft drinks and candy effective January 1st, 2026. Indiana. So what I'm doing is I'm going state by state. I'm hoping I hit your state. You can write it down, call your mama, call your sister. You can call a friend, call your mama, tell your mama, tell a friend, tell a sister, tell them again. Soda is out. Hostess is out. Somebody gonna have a fit today. I know somebody mad. He ain't telling the truth. That ain't true. That ain't true. I can buy my soda. That ain't true. That ain't true. I can buy my soda. What is he talking about? That ain't true. I can buy my soda. Huh? Oh, hold on, man. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Before I continue the list, let's get a clip. Let me cut to a clip real quick, because I know they're going to say, you could buy your soda. I could buy my soda.
Just because you... So I live in West Virginia, and they just changed the EBT rules where it can't be used to purchase soda. And I think that's terrible. Like, I'm sorry, but just because you need assistance doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have soda. And you can argue all day long that it's not a necessity, but like, it's still a drink. What does it matter? I'm sure they're also getting water and other things, but like, I just don't agree with it. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts?
Are you crazy? What are your thoughts? How about you start thinking? My thoughts is you need a thought. My thoughts is you need a thought. My thoughts is, why doesn't she understand what soda does to hypertension, to diabetes, to cancer? Why does she understand how much caffeine and soda does to children, the energy drinks? Why doesn't she understand? Are you kidding me? Do you go to the doctor? Have you ever been on a treadmill? Have you ever had a blood test? Have you ever had anything healthy done to you? How much do you pay on your healthcare insurance? Do you actually care about how much your healthcare? What about your grandparents' health? Do you buy soda for your grandmother? Don't you know it would spike her sugar when she goes to the doctor and takes her blood test? When you only buy on Coumadin? Do you understand anything about diabetes, hypertension, cancer, any of these things that Americans are plagued with directly linked to soda and sugar addiction? I just said that sugar is worse than cocaine. We have some intelligent people in the chat. Sugar is worse than cocaine. Like, it's more deadly, it's more addictive, and the sodas are packed with sugar. And she is honestly asking, why is it a big deal if they buy soda? Because the Affordable Care Act subsidies, the piss poor shitballs bill that the Democrats created that did not do the job, is expiring at the end of December. The Republicans are not going to replace it because the Republicans know it was a cash boom for the insurance companies. So what do we do to help lower healthcare costs in the emergency room, lower costs on Americans? Well, we tell Americans the truth. The sugar is killing you. The sugar is killing you. The sugar is killing you. The sugar is killing your children. No more energy drinks for your kids. No more soda unless you can afford it on your own fucking dime. It's not outlawed. This is sick. It's not against the law. You can still buy soda. Guess what? Even if you have food stamps, there's no law prohibiting you from buying soda if you have food stamps. There's no law stopping you from buying soda. It's just that the money you receive that you didn't work for, you no longer can buy soda. Do you understand? There's no law prohibiting you buying soda. You can still buy soda and kill yourself. I'm not going to pay for it.
Now, states can begin to bar food stamp recipients from using federal funds to pay for sugary drinks. RFK Jr. announced the change Friday, making good on a core component of his Make America Healthy Again movement. Interested governors must submit a waiver to the Agriculture Department, where Secretary Brooke Rollins has already agreed to grant them.
Already agreed. This is done. In case people
now, states can begin to bar food stampers.
This is done already. In case you're wondering whether or not this is gonna happen or will it happen, this is done. This is done already. This is part of the big, beautiful bill. This is the way MAHA is addressing the issues with the Affordable Care Act. I am linking it all together. It's one thing. I'm sorry to tell you, but there are issues in why this country needed an Affordable Care Act, in the ballooning obesity and the ballooning morbidities that coincide with obesity. Do you guys just remember we were in a quarantine and a lot of people lost their lives who had these morbid I forget what they called them, man. But if you had these morbidities, then you were more likely, if you got COVID, to die. This is another reason to stop drinking the soda and get in better shape. Right? Right? Do you guys remember that? Let's take another look. This is not made up. This is not AI. Let's deal with the reality of what America, this is where your taxpayer dollars is going. America. I'm talking to America right now. I'm talking to Democrats and Republicans. I'm going to show you where your taxpayer dollars is going. See, they don't tell you the whole story. They don't explain to you that these people are delusional, right? And they don't understand how their obesity correlates to their sickness and how food is medicine, right? Stop eating the poison. Let me just show you. And we're going to stop paying for the poison.
Does anybody else find it extremely odd that the president that we have right now self-admittingly drinks like a 24-pack of Diet Coke a day, and he's the same exact president with the same exact presidential campaign that is trying to take away pop and whatever else? But
you are so big, only your face fits in the screen. Do you understand? This is a cell phone. Only her face. She is so big, only her face is in the video, and she is questioning the ability to drink soda. This is irrational, delusional behavior. She doesn't understand. She is so obese, only her face fits in the damn phone camera viewable screen. You don't need to eat and drink soda. Oh my God, your face can...
But mainly pop from the EBT program for poor and impoverished people. It's almost like
her whole face is taking up the screen. Her whole face is the screen. Her whole face is the screen.
It's almost like it's not about making America healthy again. It's just about taking things away from poor.
Somebody say I'm lying. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Look at this. Am I lying? Am I being cruel? Am I lying? Somebody, I need to know. Am I lying? This is her whole face. There's nothing but face. There's nothing but face and chin from the top to the bottom of the screen and from left to right, up to down, face. And this is what, I can't make this up. I can't make this up. We can't fix America. So I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we fix this. I am serious. And then all people do is troll. All people do is, this girl is unhealthy. I promise you, she's going to have hip problems. She's going to need a hip replacement. She's going to need a knee replacement. Who's going to pay for that prosthetic? Who's going to, you know how much orthopedic surgery is? She's going to need a hip replacement. She's going to need a knee replacement. And that's not including whether or not she will suffer from diabetes and hypertension. But 80 to 90% of the people with that weight suffer from diabetes and hypertension. But most definitely, she's going to need a hip replacement. She's going to need a knee replacement, right? And we know this by the statistics. Who's going to pay for her brand new hip? Who's going to pay for her brand new knee? I just need to know these facts. Let me show you again, because some people might think I'm being mean. Just in case, if I'm being mean, what do you see? This is the top of the screen. This is the bottom of the screen. This is left to right. There's nothing but face. I do this every day. There's nothing but face. I'm not making this up.
People, it's literally just to be cruel. There's no other reason. Our own fucking president drinks Diet Coke like water, and you're sitting here and you're telling me, make America healthy again.
She thinks we're being cruel. She thinks President Trump is stopping her from buying soda with food stamps because it's cruelty. She is being cruel to herself, brothers and sisters. Today's topic is, who is really for the people? I want to ask a question. Today's topic, my title says, who is really for the people? Double tap, hit the like button. Who you think is really for the people? Would you take her advice on what to eat and drink? I'm not making a joke. I've been overweight. I'm asking a real question. Would you take her advice on what to eat or drink? Or would you listen to a doctor? We got to have this conversation today. We got to have it. I know it's a difficult conversation and everybody wants to make jokes and everybody doesn't want to be honest. Would you listen to this person on advice on what and what not to eat? Or would you listen to a doctor? Somebody said if it was about what tastes good, you going to hell. You going to hell. He said if it was about if you want to know what the best tacos, if you want to know what the best tacos are, you could ask her. If you want to know who got the best pizza, who got the most cheesiest pizza, who got the best double bacon cheeseburger, she gonna know who got the best bacon double cheeseburger. But I'm not gonna listen to this person on what is the most healthiest thing to put into my body.
And with the same exact presidential campaign, they're just trying to take away pop and whatever else, but mainly pop from the EBT program for poor and impoverished people. It's almost like it's not about making America healthy again. It's just about taking things away from poor people. It's literally just to be cruel. There's no other reason.
Just to be cruel and take things from poor people. See, I know people are going to say I'm being cruel, I'm picking on her. No, I'm not. I want you to listen, because it's easy to get distracted by her size and her weight, but we need to listen to the ideology. Those of us on the left and the right, Democrats and Republicans, you need to hear the ideology, right? Because we're talking about health. Some of us are intelligent and old enough to know the correlation between sugar and these causations, right? These comorbidities, right? But listen to the ideology of the left. She has the purple hair. She has the obesity. She said that this is being done to be cruel and that she can find no correlation. There's no health benefit to not drinking soda. Listen to the ideology.
Things away from poor people. It's literally just to be cruel.
It's literally just to be cruel. Did you hear it? It's about taking things from poor people and being cruel.
Things away from poor people. It's literally just to be cruel. There's no other reason.
There's no other reason. There's no, yeah, she got a nose ring. There's no, she fucks black men.
Our own fucking president drinks Diet Coke like water. And you're sitting here and you're telling me, make America healthy again. Just saying.
So today, what are we talking about today? Everybody in the chat, let them know. Everybody that's coming in new, double tap hit the like button. I'm going to ask a big favor to everybody watching right now. If you're learning anything, if you're being entertained right now, I need you to double tap hit the like button. I'm giving out information right now. We are talking about the MAHA waiver. To be salacious, I'm calling it a ban. It's not actually a ban, just to give you right information. It's a waiver. Most of these are Republican states, which is why they are approving the waiver. If you notice, California is not on this list. A lot of Democratic states are not approving the waiver. So Democrat states, California is already in debt. New York is already in debt. So you don't take this advisory from the USDA. And so you keep allowing your food stamp recipients to buy soda, and then your healthcare costs continues to explode. You know, California is one of the only states that has Medi-Cal. Most of you don't have Medi-Cal and Medicaid. We have so many obese and sick people in California, we have to expand it. We have Medi-Cal and Medicaid. So Democrat states are not accepting the waiver. So there's a lot to learn and unpack today. Huh? There's a lot. Woo-wee, y'all cruel. Y'all is cruel. Y'all cruel. That we have learned a lot today, right? This is a waiver. It's not a ban. It's not a nationwide ban, right? I'm not going to give out fake information. I believe in my data. I believe in my information that I'm giving out, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is not a nationwide ban. Let me go over it again. You guys want to go over the details? I'm going to state by state, but this is a 18 approved SNAP food restriction waivers under the Make Healthy America Great Again initiative. Do you understand? This is a state-by-state breakdown of 18 approved SNAP food restrictions. You know what I love about my job and people like me who really care about doing the job correctly is I actually do the research to present to you real data, and I can back up my information with real data. This is not a federal, this is not a nationwide ban. These are waivers going out to states, and the Republican red states are agreeing with the Republican administration and adopting these new processes and policies. Do you guys understand now? Do you guys understand now? Let me read it again. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. I want to read it again. I want to read it again. Under the Trump administration, Make America Healthy Again push USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins with HHS Secretary RFK Jr. has approved waivers for 18 states to restrict SNAP purchases of sugary drinks, candy, and other low nutritional items. No nationwide ban yet, but these state-level changes kick in mostly in January 2026, aiming to curb obesity, diabetes, fueled by taxpayer-funded junk. Obesity, diabetes, Affordable Care Act subsidies expire in December. Let's say it a couple times. Obesity, diabetes, fueled by taxpayer-funded junk, and at the same time, Affordable Care Act subsidies expire at the end of the month. So we're talking about the states. Arkansas, Colorado has accepted the ban. Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Indiana, Ohio, Louisiana, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and West Virginia. We just saw videos about people in West Virginia. I'm going down the list. We left off at Hawaii. Hawaii bans soft drinks, carbonated beverages, 10% sugar preserving, excludes milk-based, or 50% less juice drinks. Idaho bans soda, soft drinks, and candy effective January 1st. Indiana bans soda, all non-alcoholic sweetened beverages, and candy. That's a broad ban, Indiana. Double tap, hit the like button. Write that down. That's a broad. We might have to deep dive into Indiana because I don't even know how you interpret that. Listen to this, you guys. Indiana bans soda and all non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. Wow. So what can you buy in Indiana besides water? I don't know that that's to be true, but I don't know how to interpret what I'm reading. Somebody in the chat, can you go do a deep dive on the Indiana waiver? Right now, I am reading that Indiana is going to ban all non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. They got to give more detail than that because that means people in Indiana on EBT can only buy water. Do you guys agree with that? Do you agree with Indiana's level of ban, right? I'm going state by state. It's different every state. This is why today's show is such a great show. This is why today's show is such a great, we're giving out information very unique that no one else is giving out. I don't know if they don't have time. I don't think the Democrat liberal propaganda machine, media machine cares to even go into these details and tell you the intricacies of the policy that is different state by state. Iowa, broad restrictions. Somebody write this down. Iowa, broad restrictions, bans any food item subject to sales tax. What? I don't even know how to interpret that. We got to go. So Indiana and Iowa, somebody write that down. Mr. Perfect Timing. Write that down. We got to go into that. India and Iowa, because I don't know what that means. That could be terrifying for the citizens of India and Iowa. Broad restrictions in Iowa bans any food item subject to sales tax. What? I gotta find out right now. What foods are subject to sales tax? Damn, I think I'm smart. And they always come up with something, man. That's what foods are subject to sales tax. Somebody in the chat probably works in the food industry. In context of Iowa SNAP restrictions, listen, you guys, in context of Iowa SNAP restrictions effective January 1st, foods subject to sales tax are the ones that will be ineligible for purchase with SNAP benefits. Iowa uniquely ties its waiver to the state's sales tax rules. SNAP can only buy non-taxable food items, plus exemptions like seeds, plants for growing food. Here's a breakdown of what foods are generally subject to Iowa sales tax and thus restricted. Candy and confectionery includes chocolate bars, all gum, jelly beans, licorice, marshmallows, caramel apples. No, items like Kit Kat or Twix, which can contain flour, are often exempt from candy category and not taxed as candy. I didn't know that. So Kit Kat and Twix, because they got flour, I bet they put that flour in there on purpose, which makes you fat. The flour makes you fat. Frosting, cakes, mixes, bacon, okay, soft drinks, carbonated fruit beverages, excludes milk, prepared foods. Food sold in a heated state with eating utensils provided for immediate. Oh, so any of that KFC, Pizza Hut, all that shit. So in California, every fast food restaurant has a poster on the door that says, we accept EBT. Did you guys know that? Is that like that in your state? Popeyes, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, it's even bigger than whatever the sale is for that day. It's huge. It covers the whole window. We accept EBT. We accept EBT. So listen, they're just saying that all the food in the heated state, no more EBT. So that's a special thing. That's new. They didn't have that when I was a kid. I remember when I first saw that sign, I was like, how do Pizza Hut take EBT? And then someone explained to me, oh, the law changed. What? I didn't vote for that. Did anybody vote to allow welfare recipients to get Pizza Hut with EBT? And it even says take and bake items like pizza or cold baked goods from the bakery are usually exempt. Other taxable items, dietary supplements, tablets, some snacks, mixes, if candy is predominant, trail mix, chocolate pieces may be taxable, alcoholic beverages already ineligible. Iowa has a very broad ban. I mean, and you know how it's monkey see, monkey do. If other Republican states see Iowa implement this successfully, you may see other Republican states implement a ban on all food subject to sales tax. This is huge. I read this morning. I did not read that part. Louisiana bans soda, candy, and energy drinks. Missouri primarily bans soda, sugary drinks, and some reports include candy and processed items. Every state is different. Nebraska bans soda and energy drinks. Let me go to this. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is already happened. This is what, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is, y'all check this out. This is already happening. This is a customer having issues. And now if you go, you know why it's important to educate people? Because I don't want you to go to the store, attempt to buy something with your EBT and hold up the line, and you got me waiting in line, right?
Hey y'all, so I had Sam's Club and I brought a case of Baja Blast Mountain Dew and Pepsi. I used my EBT card and it says not eligible.
Can we try it again?
Yeah, we can try it again.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. This is crazy. I can't believe it.
Let me video this side or not?
That is crazy. But I got everything else with EBT.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this card. Look at this card. Look at this card. Doritos.
You'll see it on your video.
Soda, Doritos.
That is crazy. So the lady explained to me, some of the items that you get, be careful when you ring them up and you scan them. If the taxes don't come off, that means you cannot buy them items with EBT, with food stamps. Like right here, it's a T and a T right there.
Why is your vocabulary so bad? Why is your vocabulary so bad? Why is your vocabulary so embarrassing? I don't even want to play the whole video. Just so bad vocabulary, bad hygiene. Why is this, man? So this is a real example. Right now, EBT, you cannot buy sodas. We're going state by state. Every state is different. Let's hear from RFK. I'm gonna go back to the list. I hope you guys are writing it down. Iowa has one of the most stringent restrictions. Anything with sales tax. No more Pizza Hut. No more Wingstop on your EBT card.
Her changes to the SNAP program are emblematic of that commitment. SNAP, we're spending $405 million a day on SNAP. And about 10% is going to sugary drinks. And between, and if you add candies to that, it's about 13 to 17%. And we all believe in free choice. We live in a democracy. People can make their own choice about what they're going to buy and what they're not going to buy. If you want to buy a sugary soda, you ought to be able to do that. But the U.S. taxpayer should not pay for it. And the U.S. taxpayer should not be paying to feed kids foods, the poorest kids in our country, with foods that are going to give them diabetes. And then my agency ends up through Medicaid and Medicare paying for those injuries.
Do y'all understand? This is what I've been saying all morning. This is RFK directly linking the EBT SNAP ban to the problems that we have with healthcare costs in America. I've been saying it all morning. The Affordable Care Act subsidies will expire in days. There is 10 days till Christmas, and then there's 15 days till Obamacare explodes. Fuck Santa Claus. There is no black Santa Claus. I said there is 10 days till Christmas and 15 days until black Santa Claus is fucking exposed. All morning, I have been linking the Affordable Care Act subsidies that Joe Biden could have made permanent to this food stamp ban. It is so important. It is so important that we, let's listen to RFK. Let's listen to RFK. RFK talks so subdued, I got to turn him up. Listen to RFK. RFK, thank you, RFK. I've been linking it this morning. All the intellectuals know. He said we should not give single mothers EBT cards to buy sugary drinks with kids. And then my agency has to take care of children diabetes. Do you know I worked at Kaiser? Do you know there's a child diabetes? Do you know we have there's a department for children with diabetes, children with hypertension. We shouldn't have kids with obesity and diabetes and hypertension, but Kaiser had so many kids coming in with these symptoms, they had to open up a special children's wing to service children with diabetes. And these are low-income children who can't afford health care, parents who don't have jobs and food stamps. So think about it. If your mom doesn't have a job and your mom is on welfare, Section 8 and food stamps, how do you have an obese child that has now developed a comorbidity that we have to pay for as American citizens? We pay coming and going. My mama used to say, you pay coming and going. When we talk about the sugar ban, we are talking about Americans being paying twice. You pay for the food, you pay for the medical bill because they buy poison that make them sick with the EBT card. Can we listen? Can we have a discussion today? Let's have a discussion today. Let's be honest. Oh my God.
Emblematic of that commitment, SNAP, we're spending $405 million a day on SNAP. And about 10% is going to sugary drinks. And and if you add candies to that, it's about 13 to 17%. And we all believe in free choice. We live in a democracy. People can make their own choice about what they're going to buy and what they're not going to buy. If you want to buy a sugary soda, you ought to be able to do that. But the U.S. taxpayer should not pay for it.
Say that again. Say that again. If you want to buy a sugary soda, you can have it. But the U.S. taxpayer should not. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If you want to buy a sugary soda, you can. But the U.S. taxpayer should not. Put a 1 in the chat. I want to see the chat lit up with ones right now.
Should not be paying to feed kids foods, the poorest kids in our country, with foods that are going to give them diabetes. And then my agency ends up through Medicaid and Medicare paying for those injuries. We're going to put an end to that, and we're doing it step by step, state by state.
We're going to put an end to that step by step, state by state. He said, parents buying children sugary drinks causing child diabetes. I remember I worked at Kaiser. I listened to doctors explain to me this is a new phenomenon. This is in recent times where we have child diabetes and we have so many children who are obese and suffering for diabetes that they have to have a separate clinic. There are doctors now in 2025 that specialize in dealing with child diabetes. We never had that before. You don't have to be diabetic. Type 2 diabetes can be cured by losing weight and eating healthy. We never had to have this addressed with children before. This is new phenomenon. And this coincides with the healthcare costs skyrocketing. I said healthcare costs has skyrocketed as children obesity, Americans obesity has gone up, healthcare and disease has gone up. It's a direct correlation between healthcare costs and obesity and disease. If we can bring down the obesity, we can bring down the level of disease, we can bring down healthcare costs. We don't need a shitballs black Santa named Barack Obama selling us bullshit with an Affordable Care Act that did nothing but make the insurance companies trillions of dollars. Can we have an honest talk this morning? What did the Affordable Care Act fix? Huh? Somebody said we can't fix the problem by tossing money at it. Exactly. Now, tell me, what did the Affordable Care Act fix? Donald Trump has said it has made the insurance company's stock go up by 46,000%. That should be illegal. I'm going to say that again. Donald Trump said the insurance company's stock went up by 46,000%. under Obamacare. Under Obamacare, they made trillionaires. The government doesn't work when we have these ultra rich people because they buy politicians. But the Democrats, I believe the Democrats wanted these ultra rich people so that they can control and create a brand new royalty, right? The Hunger Games. I believe the Democrats have orchestrated all of this on purpose. $1 trillion profits for the insurance company. What did you get from Obamacare? And isn't it funny that it's temporary? How many people aren't, even if you're a Democrat, didn't you ask, how is Obamacare not done? Obama was president 15 years ago. Even if you're a Democrat, you got a Hope and Change t-shirt bumper sticker on your truck right now. On your Subaru, you got a Subaru. On one side, Coexist. On the other side, Hope and Change. What did you get from the Affordable Care Act if insurance companies got $1 trillion? What did your Subaru Coexist ass get from the Affordable Care Act? Because we have obesity skyrocketing. Let me give you a litmus test. You know what would be a great litmus test for the success of the Affordable Care Act? All of the death during COVID. You know, we had high levels of death because we had so many obese people presenting with COVID, but they already had comorbidities. They had diabetes, they had hypertension. And what did everybody say? Man, you got to get healthy because if you get COVID and you have diabetes, you have hypertension, it was the percentages skyrocketed that you might not make it back. So Obamacare, after 10 years of Obamacare, we get hit with a plague. After 10 years of Obamacare, because I'm asking, what benefit did Obamacare serve to the American people? We know the insurance companies got trillions, but what benefit did the Obamacare give to the American people? Because when COVID hit, we should have been okay because we got Obamacare, right? People are healthier. We have Obamacare. You can go to the doctor. Listen. We have Obamacare now. Americans are healthier. They can go to the doctor for free. They can get healthcare. They can get sex changes. The Democrats, you can cut your penis off. You can cut your belly off. You can get a fucking BBL under the Democrats. But wait, when the fucking plague came, everybody was still fat. Everybody was still sick despite Obamacare. So why do we need Obamacare? This is real shit right now. Why do we need Obamacare if Obamacare didn't make you dummies go to the doctor? Obamacare, you have free doctor, no copay. You didn't go to the doctor. When the plague came, you were sick and died. You still were fat. You still were addicted to soda, right? The doctor said you can live through COVID-19. It's just the flu, right? But you got to be healthy, eat right, wash your hands, stop eating sugar. Everybody understood this during the quarantine. They said if you eat a bunch of sugar and candy, it can be worse when you get sick. So people stop eating sugar and candy, right? So if Obamacare was so great and Obamacare was going to fix things, why couldn't you see real successes from Obamacare during COVID? Where you could say, well, you know, we have less diabetes in America. Why do we have less Well, because of Obamacare, people were able to go to the hospital for free and Americans got healthier. So this quarantine is not going to hurt America that bad because we had Obamacare. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. Obamacare didn't do that. So reality needs to hit. Sometime we got to talk about Black Santa. Who believes in Black Santa? Santa Claus. Obama, the Black Santa Claus. Obama, the Black Santa Claus, the king of Wakanda. Obama, your mama, the king of Wakanda, the Black Santa Claus lied again. But the Black Santa Claus is not real. I hate to be the one to bust your bubble. There is no Black Santa Claus. Obamacare was shitballs. There is no Black Santa Claus, and Obamacare was a shitty bill. Can we have a real talk this morning? Obamacare was a shitty bill that became a non-functional law. And then the Democrats had to band-aid Obamacare. Can we be honest? Obamacare was a shitty bill. It became an unfunctional law that the Democrats continuously band-aid for the past 15 fucking years. That's the reality. The reality is Obamacare was a shitty bill. It was a shitty bill. It became a worse law. And ever since it became a law, the Democrats have begged you, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. What the fuck is the biggest hustle? Obamacare is the biggest hustle. It's worse than 3 Called Monty. It was a shitty bill. It became an unfunctional law, and the Democrats every time keep going back to the fucking well. Oh, we need to do this. We need to expire. Oh, we got to do this. I'm sorry, the bill wasn't right because of the Republicans. We could have got you free health care, but the Republicans. Donald Trump made a phone call. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. Chuck Schumer, we couldn't do it. Bernie Sanders, we couldn't do it. Obamacare, we couldn't do it. Jasmine, we couldn't do it. The Democrats come out here. Well, Trump called them and they wouldn't do it. Trump called them. So the Democrats give you excuses and they keep trying to fix this unsolvable problem, right? Obamacare was a shitty bill and they keep fucking band-aiding it, but they're not fixing the problem. And because Barack Obama was black, listen, I need to tell you this as a black man, because Barack Obama was black, no one will be honest about the fact that it was a shitty bill. Because that's all you have to say Barack Obama was a good president. Barack Obama was a shitty president. He wasn't even a good politician. He only was a junior senator for 5 minutes before becoming president. Barack Obama was a shitty politician and a horrible president, and it was a horrible bill. And it became a shitty law, and you hold on to it because he's black. You hold on to the Affordable Care Act because he's black, not because it was productive for the American people. That's why you hold on to it. You hold on to the Affordable Care Act because he's the black Santa Claus. And you don't want to wake up and stop being Arrested Development children and admit there is no black Santa Claus. There is no black Santa Claus. The Affordable Care Act stole money. It made wealthy people richer. It gave insurance companies trillions of dollars. And you hold on to it because he's black. Because he's black. Because he's black. Stop. Just let it go. The Affordable Care Act was shitballs then, it's shitballs now, and it hasn't benefited you. All it's done is make wealthy people wealthier. I like my hair. You don't like my hair? Where my thing at? I like my hair. What you talking about? I like my hair. Let's go back to talk about what states. Let's go back and talk about what states is banning. So today we're talking about RFK and waivers going to waivers went to all states, but 18 states accepted the waivers and they have put in sugar bans. And we were talking about Louisiana last. Louisiana, let me read you the 18 states once again so you know what we're talking about. EBT is banning and restricting sugary drinks in 18 states starting July 1st and January 1st. Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and West Virginia have accepted the waiver, and you will be experiencing bans. Please don't show up on January 1st trying to buy a bunch of shit that don't qualify for your EBT, holding up lines, making the experience horrible for everybody else. I'm giving you the information now. Don't say you didn't know. Don't say you didn't know, because I am telling you now. So where did we leave off? Louisiana bans soda, candy, energy drinks. Missouri primarily bans soda, sugar drinks. Some reports include candy and processed items, right? Nebraska bans soda and energy drinks. North Dakota bans soda, sugary drinks, and candy, very slightly focused on non-nutritional items. Oklahoma bans soda and candy. South Carolina bans candy, soft drinks, energy drinks with greater than or less than 65 milligrams caffeine for 8 ounces, and sweetened beverages. So some people are very strict. Some people are banning outright all sweetened beverages, so you can only buy water with your EBT. Tennessee bans soda energy drinks, candy, and processed sweets. Tennessee has a pretty broad band, and Tennessee is a big state. Some states like California, Texas, Florida have a lot of people, high population in certain states. Tennessee is one of those states. So this is going to be a big hit in Tennessee. Tennessee is banning soda, energy drinks, candy, and processed sweets. And Tennessee is one of the growing states. Like when people used to want to move to California, right? But people are now moving to states like Texas and Tennessee. These are sought after states to live in. People are leaving California. People are leaving these liberal bastions and moving to places. Like I saw a video of a white family who lived in California, not too far from me. They moved to Tennessee and they're happy. They moved to Tennessee, and it's not only Knoxville, it's not only Memphis, but they're beautiful. He said he loves the seasons. He loves everything about it. His family loves it. This white liberal family moved to Tennessee. They're no longer Democrats. Now they moved to Tennessee, and they just couldn't live in California anymore. California got too liberal. This is just one anecdotal story, but there are a lot of people who are moving from California to places like are more Republican and more red, like Texas, and Tennessee is one of those states. I'm sure they're happy to hear about this ban. So Tennessee bans soda, energy drinks, candy, and processed sweets, one of the broadest bans. Utah primarily bans soft drinks and soda. Texas bans sweetened drinks with greater than or equal to 5 grams added sugar on any artificial sweetener, candy, and prepared desserts. Texas ban is not going into effect until April 1st. April Fools, ain't that something? Texas is cruel. Texas, listen to this. Texas ban does not go into effect till April Fool. Texas is cold. Texas is cold. Utah primarily bans soft drinks and soda. Virginia bans sweetened beverages, focus on sugary drinks. Some include candy. West Virginia bans soda pop, carbonated sweetened drinks. These are pilot/demo waivers. Initially 2 years and extendable, right? These are 2-year waivers and they can be extended, aimed at redirecting SNAP to nutritional foods. Variations exist because states define categories differently, e.g., tying to sales tax or specific sugar thresholds. More states may join soon. Huge step for health and taxpayer value. This is just the information I'm giving you out. The 18 states and different states that are being banned today. That's what's going on right now. Food care, food stamp ban, and hopefully this helps benefit the food stamps that's going on. That's what we're talking about right now. That was the lead story. That was a lead story. And also today we were talking about AOC. So we've been talking about Jasmine Crockett, right? We talk about Jasmine Crockett being a millionaire. Now over the weekend, and we talk about Jasmine Crockett running for Senate. Now remember I played you that town hall with Bernie Sanders, and AOC is going to be primarying Chuck Schumer, right? We heard the rumors that AOC, did she file? Because December 8th was the cutoff for Texas. Let me know in the chat right now that AOC filed her paperwork to primary Chuck Schumer and run for Senate from the left. AOC campaign spent $50,000 in Puerto Rico on hotels, arena rentals. When I talk to you about Jasmine Crockett in those 5 seats, remember Jasmine Crockett, the reason, let me give you background, get down with the background. Jasmine Crockett in those 5 seats. Why were they so important? Well, Jasmine Crockett, her congressional district number 33 was one of those 5 seats. Jasmine Crockett's district, 766,000 Democrats got enveloped into a broader red district. Now, Jasmine Crockett can't run and win in the district of 33 anymore because it's now become more red. Did you guys know that? So Jasmine Crockett got on a jet plane, cost $100,000. Jasmine Crockett went to Chicago, lived in luxury hotels, got the Chicago and Illinois mayor and governor to be on her side. She got Gavin Newsom to go a special election for these 5 seats, but no one ever understood that her job was at question. It wasn't about Trump. Jasmine Crockett said, Trump is doing this. Trump wants to win in 2026. Jasmine Crockett, Trump wants to get the 5 seats in Texas. Trump called Greg Abbott and said, get the 5. Trump didn't do shit. It wasn't about Trump. It was Democratic shifts in Texas, and it was Jasmine Crockett's job on the line. So Jasmine Crockett's district got enveloped by a red district, and she can't win. That's why she's not running for Congress. Jasmine Crockett got fired. MTG got fired, and the American people fired her. Now Jasmine Crockett looking for promotion, and she wants to run for Senate. I wanted to give you that background on how much money Jasmine Crockett spent. Jasmine Crockett spent all this money to save her job. Now, AOC doing the same thing. AOC, while she's saying tax the rich and all the elites, we talk about Latia James lying on a mortgage application, having multiple homes, multiple millions. Adam Shifty Schiff lying on mortgage application, have $1 million in multiple homes. Remember last week, Maxine Waters, over 87 years old, still in the house and a multi-millionaire. Nancy Pelosi, 80-something years old, worth $300 million. Omar, worth $30 million. AOC now on a vacation. I'm talking about elite Democrat, elite. How much money is Gavin Newsom worth? Put in the chat. Gavin Newsom let California burn to the ground. $100 million in fire funds is missing. Anybody know how much Gavin Newsom is worth? Does anybody know? He's a multi-million, 40 million. How many people look it up? So AOC, you know AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of the squad, right? Jasmine Crockett, Omar, AOC, tax the rich, right? But AOC is rich. Omar is worth 30 million. When AOC said tax the rich, was she talking about Jasmine Crockett? Was she talking about Nancy Pelosi? Was you talking about Maxine Waters? Were you talking about Gavin Newsom? When AOC taxed the rich, was she talking about the Democratic billionaire donors who gave money to California for the special election? This Thomas Siebel, all of those people in Silicon Valley who paid for Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris. When you say tax the rich, is that who you mean? AOC campaign spent $50,000 in Puerto Rico on hotels and arena rentals. You can't make this up. Why is she in Puerto Rico? Federal Election Commission filings show Ocasio-Cortez campaign spent nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico from late June to September. I can't believe this. 2025 with $15,000 on hotel stays. You can't make this up. This is your taxpayer dollars. If you're not buying soda, if you're not buying sugar, if you're not making billionaire insurance companies into trillionaires, this is what the Democrats want you to do with your money. Spend it on Jasmine Crockett weave. Jasmine Crockett has $1,000 weave down her black ass. Jasmine Crockett has mink eyelashes. Pay for your money. Jasmine Crockett got $1 million face paid with your dollar. Now AOC went to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, oh, Puerto Rico, oh, everybody in the chat, Puerto Rico, oh, Puerto Rico. But she don't fucking have a district in Puerto Rico. She works in motherfucking New York. Federal Election Commission filing show Ocasio-Cortez campaign spent nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico, but not helping Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans need help. They need help with their lights. Remember all the lights went out in Puerto Rico? Remember all the energy grid in Puerto Rico, the water treatment plants in Puerto Rico? But she didn't spend the money on the energy grid. She didn't spend the money on water treatment plants. She didn't spend the money on farms. She spent the money on hotels. She went to a concert. AOC, tax the rich. She went to a concert, spent 50 grand because she's rich. She's a millionaire. She don't give a fuck about $50,000. $50,000 to a millionaire ain't shit, right? $50,000 to a millionaire ain't shit. Federal Election Commission filing show Ocasio-Cortez campaign spent nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico from late June to September 2025, with $15,000 on hotel stays, $23,000 on arena rentals at the Calesi de Puerto Rico, and $10,000 on meals. $10,000 on meals. When you talk about $1 billion being stolen in Minneapolis under Ilhan Omar, $1 billion was stolen from the American people. Let's be honest, $1 billion was stolen from children. $1 billion. The Somalians in Minneapolis stole $1 billion from autistic children, if we're being honest. And here it is, Ocasio, AOC, stealing money from you again on meals. $10,000. Has anybody ever spent that much money on food in 2 months? 2 months, $10,000 on food. 2 months, $10,000 on food. It says she was there from June to September. From June to September, she spent $10,000 on food. I'm just giving you the facts. $10,000 on food. You want to know how $1 billion gets stolen in Minneapolis? This is how it gets stolen. They lie. Democrats lie about everything. Oh, I went to Puerto Rico. I had to spend $10,000 on food. Did you, bitch? You spent $10,000 on food? No, you didn't, bitch. You stealing money from the American people. Let me read this shit. $10,000 on meals. The trip supported outreach to Puerto Rican voters and leaders. Why did she need to outreach to Puerto Rican voters? Outreach to New York. Outreach to your district. This is what Jasmine Crockett did. Going to Illinois, going to New York. You should have been working on the South Dallas District 33, Jasmine Crockett. That's what you should have been doing. AOC needs to be worrying about the Bronx and New York and her constituents, not Puerto Ricans. As many as her New York constituents have ties to the islands, I don't give a fuck. According to the campaign spokesperson, critics highlighted the upscale spending against her rhetoric on fighting oligarchy and wealth inequity, while supporters view it as a routine political engagement. So supporters say this is a routine political engagement. So let me get this straight. AOC rails nonstop against the rich, yet drops tens of thousands of dollars in campaign cash on luxury hotels, upscale catering. Like, she didn't buy regular food. So you might say, Dennis, why is the food $10,000? Why is the hotels $15,000? Because like Jasmine Crockett, when she left for those 5 seats, she flew on a private plane. When Jasmine Crockett got to Chicago to talk about the 5 seats that the Democrats wanted, she lived in a high-rise hotel, paid for by tax dollars. Do you guys understand? You didn't know any of this. So now, how do you spend $10,000 in 2 months? Because AOC is rich, and rich people don't eat regular food. She didn't go to the grocery store and buy food. She had food catered, 5-star delicacy meals catered. That's how you spend $10,000 in a matter of months. Let's look at it.
$23,000.
Let's look at it. Let's break it down. Your favorite Democrat elite goes on a trip to Puerto Rico and spends $50 to hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money. Perfect time.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez under scrutiny after FEC filings show her campaign spending nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico on hotels, meals, and a venue rental at the arena where she was seen dancing it up during a Bad Bunny concert. Correspondent Sarah Williamson has the very latest for us. Sarah.
Hey, Lydia, look, you're allowed to have fun, but on campaign money, I'm not so sure about. It's not exactly the best look, because these newly filed federal records show that AOC's campaign spent nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico over just a few months, fueling criticism, of course, of a lawmaker who has built her entire brand railing against wealth, privilege, elites, and excess. Now, Federal Election Commission filings show that for the third quarter, that AOC's campaign reported nearly 50 grand in spending in Puerto Rico just between the months of June and September. The filings list high-end hotels, meals and catering, and event-related expenses paid for, all with campaign funds. The records also show about $23,000 spent on a venue rental in Puerto Rico, the same venue, in fact, that AOC was seen in a private suite at the Bad Bunny concert in August, a moment that went rather viral online. Now, the appearance coming the same month, she delivered a speech condemning gentrification in Puerto Rico and economic inequality, further intensifying criticism that her personal choices undercut her political message. Now, under federal campaign finance law, it's important that we do say this spending is actually allowed. Campaigns may legally use donor money for travel, adding lodges, meals, event spaces, as long as it's tied to political activity. There is no cap on hotel or venue costs, making this less about legality and more about credibility here. Now, we have reached out to AOC for comment, yet to hear back from her, but in a previously published statement, her campaign manager said that she regularly travels to Puerto Rico to support local causes and that the spending reflected legitimate campaign activity. But for critics, this just reinforces what they see as a familiar pattern of a progressive lawmaker condemning excess while she comfortably is enjoying the very privileges she tells others to reject. Lydia?
And that was also a lawmaker with her at that concert. Sarah Williamson, thank you for that report.
You can't make this up, you guys. So AOC goes to Puerto Rico.
So that's planned. Rayland in spending in
AOC goes to Puerto Rico. Look at her in Puerto Rico and spends American taxpayer dollars on a regular basis. There's a lot to extrapolate from what we heard just here. She spends this money on a regular basis, right? And then she doesn't apologize for it, right? And this is what she spent the money on. She spent the money. I have a question. Do you see this concert? Do you see this concert? So if she rented this venue, if she paid for this venue, did she charge for the tickets? I have a question. If they rented the venue for Bad Bunny to perform, did they charge admission? And if they charged admission, who made the profit? Looks, she has an alcoholic beverage in her hand. Did you see her dancing with the alcohol? She's dancing with the alcohol. This is your congresswoman who wants to be promoted to a senator. She believes she has the stuff to be an American senator. She wants to be promoted to senator, and she is in Puerto Rico spending American dollars getting drunk at a Bad Bunny concert. But tell me, is this what you need to do to get promoted to senator? Is this what you're looking for in a senator in America? I don't need to talk about her policy. I just want to know that, and she's going to, so as a senator, can we expect her to be in Puerto Rico more? Or can we expect her to focus on the New Yorkers who she should be representing? Why would you promote her? Why would you promote her to the Senate if this is what she does with her time? If she's in Puerto Rico more than she's in America, and she's worried about Puerto Ricans more than do you remember the speech I played to you about Omar, when Omar says that she and Somalians gonna tell Americans what to do? This squad needs to be reined in. Do you remember I played a speech? Omar is worth $30 million now. Ilhana Omar of the squad gave a speech where she said Somalians will tell Americans what to do. In this speech, she was saying she is going to represent Somalia. The reason she became a congresswoman, Ilmar Omar said, the reason I became a congresswoman is so that I can represent Somalia's issues and protect us from Ethiopian invasion. And she said, as long as I'm in the Congress, we don't have to worry about Ethiopia invading us. Because the whole reason I became a congresswoman is to protect Somalians in Somalia. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? An American congresswoman who wasn't born in America, who is the lead of the district that stole $1 billion. She is giving a speech, and she is saying the reason I became a congresswoman is so I can advocate for Somalians who live in Somalia. When I'm in Washington, D.C., I am fighting against Ethiopians who want to invade Somalia. So whoever voted for Omar, whoever voted for or AOC, they're not representing Americans. They didn't go to Congress to represent New York. She didn't go to Congress to represent Minnesota or Minneapolis. She went to Congress to help Somalians in Somalia. AOC went to Congress to help Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico. Let's just be honest, and you don't get fucking promoted to Senate. I am not promoting AOC, Jasmine Crockett, or Omar to Senate for representing countries that are not, it's MAGA, brothers. It's Make America Great Again. Omar speech. What to do. Let me see if I can bring it up. If I can bring it up, I'll show you the speech. Here it is. This is the speech, right? I played it last week. This is the speech. I played it last week. Trump calls Minnesota Somalians in the cabinet meeting with clash with Omar. Trump linked his remarks to reports of welfare fraud investigations involving Somalian-led groups in Minnesota. Let me put this is in Somalis, so you're gonna have to just read it. I'm gonna read it to you, but listen to how she speaks. She's not representing the American constituents in Minneapolis or
My
answer to Somalians was that the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. Did you read this? She is talking to Somalians as a congresswoman representing America, and she is telling them to relax because the U.S. government will only do what she tells them to do, like she's a king of Wakanda. They will do what we want and nothing else. Are you reading this? This is Omar, Somalian born, telling Somalians in Somalia that American will only do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and this is how we will safeguard the interests of Somalia. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. We Somalians must have confidence in ourselves that we call the shots in the U.S. We call the shots in the U.S. I'm not making this up. We live in the U.S., pay taxes in the U.S., and have a real voice. The U.S. is a country where one of your daughters, myself, is in Congress to represent your interests, Somalian interests of Somalians in Somalia. Your daughter, she's not talking to Americans. She's not even speaking English. For as long as I am in the U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters, Indian Ocean, will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. She is saying to Somalians in Somalia, I became a congresswoman to protect Somalians in Somalia, not the people of Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Somalia biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan. Wadanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan.
Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. I can't really, this is like unbelievable, but this is the truth of America. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I needed you guys to understand the truth, huh? I needed you guys to, I'm talking about AOC in the Dominican Republic, and AOC saying, I'm in the Dominican Republic a lot. I spend a lot of money there. And I am saying to you that AOC spends more time in the Dominican Republic. She cares more about Dominican Republicans than she does her American constituents. This is the point I'm bringing up today. Let's show you again. AOC in Puerto Rico paying Bad Bunny, dancing with alcohol. Now remember, AOC wants to be promoted to Senate. This is AOC in
scrutiny after FEC filings show her campaign spending nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico on hotels, meals, and a venue rental at the arena where she was seen dancing it up during a Bad Bunny concert. Correspondent Sarah Williamson has the very latest for us. Sarah.
Hey, Lydia, look, you're allowed to have fun, but on campaign money, I'm not so sure about. It's not exactly the best look because these newly filed federal records show that AOC's campaign spent nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico over just a few months, fueling criticism, of course, of a lawmaker who has built her entire brand railing against wealth, privilege, elites, and excess. Now, Federal Election Commission filings show that for the third quarter, that AOC's campaign reported nearly 50 grand in spending in Puerto Rico just between the months of June and September. The filings list high-end hotels, meals and catering, and event-related expenses paid for, all with campaign funds. The records also show about $23,000 spent on a venue rental in Puerto Rico, the same venue, in fact, that AOC was seen in a private suite at the Bad Bunny concert in August, a moment that went rather viral online. Now, the appearance coming the same month, she delivered a speech condemning gentrification in Puerto Rico and economic inequality, further intensifying criticism that her...
Is this your queen? Is this your queen? And she's in a private box. She's not sitting with you. She not sitting with you. She's in a private box having her alcohol, getting drunk. She not sitting with you. She not sitting with you. She in a private box having her alcohol, getting drunk. That is the truth. That is the truth, baby. That is the truth, baby.
Loves to
Let's get into it, man. I got more on this shit. Hypocrisy. Today we talking about hypocrisy, man. Check this out, man. Another great clip. Fair use.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she loves to lecture Americans about greed, excess, and gentrification. Then the spending reports drop. In just one quarter, AOC's campaign burns close to $50,000. Hotels, food, venue rentals, Puerto Rico, not modest travel, luxury travel, adult-only hotels, historic boutique properties marketed for elegance and old world charm. This happens while she posts online attacking gentrification on the island, the same island where her campaign pays over $50,000 for high-end lodging. Then there's the food, more than $10,000 on meals and catering in Puerto Rico alone. One dinner date, thousands gone. And the optics get worse. Video surfaces of AOC dancing at a Bad Bunny concert in San Juan. Around the same time, her campaign pays over $23,000 for venue rentals at the same arena. Her team says the expenses support grassroots organizing, security staff, and community events. But voters see something else, because we're not stupid. They see a politician who brands herself as anti-elite while living like one. A politician who attacks wealth while enjoying every luxury politics has to offer. The spending does not stop there either. More thousands go to boutique hotels in Vermont, expensive restaurants in Washington, ice cream shops, Italian dining, all build to a campaign built on fighting the oligarchy. The message is simple: rules for voters, perks for politicians. AOC talks socialism and her campaign spins like a celebrity tour. And the receipts tell the entire story. Y'all like the video right there? Follow for and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll catch you on the next one.
I like that. Rules for voters. Rules for voters. Politicians can do it. I like that. Rules. This is the same thing Nancy Pelosi. Do y'all remember Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom? Nancy and Pelosi and Gavin Newsom during quarantine were so mean. I live in California. They closed churches. Do you know they closed churches and they wouldn't let you sing in the church? It went all the way to the 9th Circuit, the 11th Circuit. They went to the Supreme Court to close churches in black neighborhoods where this was the only thing stopping violence. They closed churches. Then they said the people who went to church could not sing or chant in churches. And then we saw Gavin Newsom having a dinner party with no mask. We saw Nancy Pelosi getting her hair done. Remember, my auntie owns a beautician shop. Beauticians couldn't have barbers and beauticians, and these are a lot of black independent businesses, a lot of minority black-owned small businesses or barbershop, beauty salons, and they make a lot of money. They're one of the only ones who actually own their building. Barbers own the building. They're self-employed owner-operator. Same thing with beauticians. But California said no more barbershops, no more beauticians, no more dinner parties. But rules for the voters, but politicians can do anything. Nancy Pelosi got caught on video getting her hair done. Just like Jasmine Crockett during a 43-day shutdown got caught at a transgender showcase with $1,000 weave, $1,000 mink eyelashes while soldiers were going hungry in Germany. These are your Democrats. This is just the reality. This is just the reality. So rules for the voters, but Nancy Pelosi was able to go to a beauty salon during quarantine, and Gavin Newsom was having dinner parties every night. Nobody had masks. Nobody following. Remember, they said you can't go see your grandmother on Thanksgiving. Remember, they said that Gavin Newsom had special commercials. Don't go visit family. 6 degrees of separation. But Gavin Newsom was caught on video having a dinner party. Nancy Pelosi was caught on video going to the beautician. They never followed COVID policies, just like AOC does what she wants. Jasmine Crockett does what she wants. AOC talks about gentrification. AOC says tax the rich, but she can eat elite meals. She can have a rich lifestyle. She can stay in elite, exquisite hotels. So AOC, when you say tax the rich, who are you talking about? When you say tax the rich, AOC, who are you talking about? We just want to know.
Scrutiny after FEC filings show her campaign spending nearly $50,000 in Puerto Rico on hotels, meals, and a venue rental at the arena where she was seen dancing it up during a Bad Bunny concert. Correspondent Sarah Williamson.
Now, Bad Bunny. Now, do we get to talk about the fact that Bad Bunny, who's supposed to be performing at the Super Bowl, I believe this is a deeper issue because Bad Bunny has said negative things about our president. Bad Bunny, like the liberal Democrats, has told people to not listen to ICE, federally mandated. You know what I'm saying? But Bad Bunny is now the concert she chooses to go to, right? The guy talking shit about ICE, the guy talking shit about President Trump. I think it's a direct spit in the face to Americans. This is somebody who's not truly American, doesn't truly represent American values. If you want to be with Bad Bunny, if you want to be Puerto Rican, give up your office and go fucking live in Puerto Rico. Stop fucking masquerading as an American, like Omar masquerading as an American when you're really a Somalian princess and you really want to work for Somalia. Stop masquerading as a Puerto Rican and go be Puerto Rican. Don't fake being a congresswoman when you really want to work for Puerto Rico. Go to Puerto Rico. Stop lying. Somebody said fuck ICE. No, it's fuck you. It's not fuck ICE, it's fuck you. ICE are federal employees. Do you know how hard it is to be a police officer? Do you know how hard it is to carry a gun? If you have a wife and children and your job is to carry a gun and either protect citizens, protect America, like the Navy SEALs, who Rachel Maddow wants to say did something wrong. The Navy SEALs, the most highly trained professional group of people and men in America, Rachel Maddow wants to call their decision making into question, right? Do you understand what you're saying? I don't think you know. Puerto Rico is America. Puerto Rico is not her fucking district. You stupid fuck. Puerto Rico is not her fucking district and it's not a state. Puerto Rico is not her district and is not a state. Jasmine Crockett was elected to the 33rd South Dallas. I play video where South Dallas, the 33rd district where Jasmine Crockett represents, has homeless people and human feces on the ground. But Jasmine Crockett was more concerned about issues not in South Dallas. That's why Jasmine Crockett lost her job. AOC is going to lose her job because she's not focused on her constituents. You right now, you stupid fuck, spell constituents in the chat. Spell constituents and tell me how politics work. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. She is supposed to be working for the people who voted for her constituency in New York. I don't care if they from Puerto Rico. They're American now. You're an American congresswoman. You need to work on the schools. PS 134, PS 202, public schools in New York. Help Mondani, the Morani, get the free buses. Lower the rent in New York. New York has a deficit. New York has a shortage on water and energy. You have a lot of work to do in New York. Am I wrong? Who lives in New York? Because it's a goddamn idiot in my chat. There is a lot of work to be done in New York. Is it not a lot of work to be done in New York? Do we not have crime, gangs, violence, poverty, debt in New York? That's what the Morani ran on. Mondani, the Morani ran on all of the work that needs to be done in New York. Why the fuck is she in Puerto Rico, smart ass? That's my point. You don't know politics. You don't know the job. The constituents. She has a district in New York that she is sworn to protect and represent. Same thing with Jasmine Crockett. Same thing with Omar. So what happened with Jasmine Crockett? Nothing. What happened with Omar? Her constituents stole $1 billion. I'm going to say it again. Omar's constituents stole $1 billion. Did you know that? Minneapolis. Insulting people. Get that out my chat. You don't get to be here. This is the best conversation. Say it again. All that free shit ain't free. Say it again. Huh? All that free shit ain't free. Let me talk about let's get to the corruption. Let's talk about the corruption in Minneapolis. I told you that they stole $1 billion during COVID from sick autistic kids. I said, how do you steal $1 billion? Then I did my research. I said, there was a black female Somalian mayor. There's a black female Somalian congresswoman. And then what did I uncover that no one has talked about? there is a black female Somalian senator. And you want to know how they steal $1 billion fucking dollars? Somalians steal $1 billion fucking dollars and they don't get caught? How do they steal $1 billion? Well, the mayor is a black female Somalian. You didn't fucking know that, did you? The Congresswoman Omar, black female Somalian. How many people knew that there was a black female senator who was Somalian who represents that area of Minnesota? I know there's 80,000 Somalians. It makes sense. They got political representation. But did you know the levels of corruption? Omar's worth 30 million. Omar's victory party was at the Safari Club. The owner of the Safari Club got convicted for stealing $5 million in meals from kids. They stole money from kids via children meal and autistic therapy. While Omar was the congresswoman, Somalian woman was mayor, and a Somalian woman was the senator. And nobody fucking knows where the $1 billion is. Where is the $1 billion? Where is the $1 billion? Huh? Listen to this, more corruption in Minneapolis. Because people want to know why ICE. Somebody said they don't like ICE. I love ICE. I love the federal government. I love our laws. I want to protect American people from illegal citizens who would steal from their children. Let me read to you some real shit. Minneapolis council members sought taxpayer funds for Harvard trips. So AOC steals money to go on luxury vacations. Here goes another Democrat, but the Minneapolis Somalians like stealing money. Emails show Ellison, through an aide, asked in July 2025 to use his Ward 5 budget. Ward 5, Somalian. And their ward is full of Somalians. This is what Somalians, Puerto Rican, this is what they doing in America. No one cares about America anymore. Listen to this. Minneapolis council member, he's a Somalian, not born in America, Somalian Minneapolis council member, where they stole $1 billion, sought taxpayer funds for a Harvard trip. Emails show Ellison, through an aide, asked in July 2025 to use his Ward 5 budget for bi-weekly flights from Minneapolis to Boston during his Harvard Leo Fellowship, which runs through year's end. City Clerk Jake Wise rejected it, calling the program personal opportunity not eligible for travel funds. Ellison kept his $110,000 salary plus Harvard's $57,000 stipend and supports missing 5 of 11 meetings since summer. Constituents like Kim Smith called it very disconcerting and hoped it set boundaries. So we are paying these people, Somalians not born in America, to have political positions, and all they're doing is using them for their own personal gain. He's a councilman. He's getting $110,000 plus he's getting $57,000 stipend from Harvard, and he still wanted Americans to pay for his travel. You can't make this up. Breaking amid the revelation that Minnesota AG Attorney General Keith Ellison met with and took money from Somalian fraudsters, it has now been revealed that his son has been collecting a $110,000 salary and $57,000 living expense stipend from the Minneapolis City Council while attending Harvard. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. They're just stealing money. They don't care about America. They don't care about America. But the Democrats are the people giving them the path.
This morning, Jeremiah Ellison was among the outgoing city council members to get an honorary resolution for their years of service.
So I give my gratitude to the North Side.
But one issue not mentioned, where he's been the final 5 months of his term. Harvard University as a Loeb Fellow. RJ Coles first broke this story this summer, and it caught some off guard.
His Ward 5 constituents deserve a council member who shows up.
Ellison is splitting his time between here and Cambridge, Massachusetts. He's still earning his $110,000 city salary on top of a $57,000 stipend from Harvard. Now 5 Investigates has obtained these internal emails showing Ellison's office wanted more. They requested the Ward 5 budget to cover travel expenses, specifically round-trip travel between Minneapolis and Boston, so Ellison could attend city council meetings every other week from August to the end of the year. In response to Ellison's request, the city clerk acknowledged the prestigious program, but said it's a personal professional development opportunity, and travel for this purpose is not allowed.
It's very disconcerting.
We sat down with two very engaged Ward 5 residents.
As a retired math teacher, I can't imagine asking my students to pay for me to commute to and from school. We are his constituents.
I also am glad that the city rejected that request.
Ellison has long maintained he can do both, even from afar. But fellow council members kicked him off most committees. Here's what he told our Eric Shalou in September.
You'll certainly see me at council meetings, barring some kind of emergency, but you'll certainly see me at full council.
But our review of council attendance records shows he's missed 5 of the 11 meetings ever since he's accepted that Harvard fellowship. Now, I was at that city council this morning, that meeting, but was only able to talk to Ellison via text message, where he called this story flimsy, a hit piece, and refused to do an interview unless I could prove that this was somehow in the public's interest. By the way, he appeared to defend that request, saying the travel was related to his urban planning-related education and urban planning-related job. His term ends in January. Live at City Hall, Ryan Raish, 5 Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
Just so y'all understand what it's a mentality of these. What I'm explaining and showing you today is the mentality of individuals who are not born in America, who see politics as a grift. I've given you evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence. I gave you AOC in Puerto Rico, working with Bad Bunny, who has said horrible things about America and Donald Trump. I showed you Omar in Minneapolis being friends with individuals who have stolen over $1 billion from kids. Now, another council member, an AG in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Somalian again, received a $110,000 salary but didn't go to work. Like Jasmine Crockett got on the plane and left Texas. Jasmine Crockett was getting paid. Did you know Jasmine Crockett was getting paid? Jasmine Crockett got paid during the government shutdown. Did you know that? Jasmine Crockett got paid when you didn't get paid. Air traffic controllers didn't get paid, had to go to work. TSA agents didn't get paid, had to go to work. Jasmine Crockett got paid. This man got paid $110,000 a year. He had 11 meetings. He missed 5. Barack Obama as a junior senator. Can anybody write? Perfect timing for president. Can anybody take some notes? Barack Obama as a junior senator. Barack Obama lost the first time he ran in Chicago. Then Barack Obama got black. Remember, he got Jeremiah Wright. He got Michelle and the babies. And then he got blackified by Oprah. Then he won as a junior senator. Then he ran for president. Did you know Barack Obama was only a junior senator for 5 minutes? And just like this guy, Barack Obama was being sanctioned for missing votes. Barack Obama was campaigning for president when he should have been being a senator representing his constituents in Chicago, but he never did the full term. He didn't serve the full term as senator. Who knows Barack Obama's ascension to president? Barack Obama didn't hold a bunch of office. He did hold office at Harvard. Barack Obama had no political experience. Did you guys know this? He wasn't born in America. He's just like one of these Somalians. Barack Obama wasn't born in America. He had no political experience, and he lost his first campaign. Jeremiah Wright helped blacken him up. He won in the most corrupt city, Chicago. I reported how corrupt. There's a reason Barack Obama came from Chicago. Barack Obama went to school at Harvard. He hung out in Hawaii. He didn't have any ties to Chicago. Barack Obama had no ties to Chicago. Why would Barack Obama magically appear out of Chicago and not Hawaii, not Harvard, not the Midwest where he was from with his grandmother that gave him $400,000? Why did Barack Obama end up in Chicago? It's the most corrupt political system. And for what they designed Barack Obama to be and do, they needed Chicago as a springboard because of how corrupt it was. Corrupt with the alderman, corrupt with a Jeremiah Wright, a black pastor, black Baptist pastor who had inroads in that district and can get Barack Obama voted to senator. Barack Obama used the corrupt black politicians in Chicago. Did you guys know this? Barack Obama used the corrupt black apparatus in Chicago, including black Baptist preachers, corrupt aldermen, to become a junior senator, but he did not even vote. Barack Obama was a junior senator for 5 minutes and he missed votes. He got in trouble. Barack Obama got in trouble as a junior senator for not participating because he was running for president. He didn't even be senator. This is never talked about. Barack Obama just forsaked his constituents because he had a higher calling to be the first black, or his mama black. His mama was white. Is Barack Obama black? Kamala Harris is she? I don't care if they black. If they want to be black, they could be black. But his mama white. Kamala Harris' mama is not black. They come out of Chicago. He comes out of Chicago with this BS, and he's not senator for 5 seconds before you vote for him for president. These are realities. These are realities. You vote for him for president. He never had political experience. And you know what was so sick about, you know what was so sick? You know what was so sick? That they bookend Barack Obama, who had no political experience, with Joe Biden, who had been in politics for 40 years. Joe Biden had been in the Senate for 30 years when he became vice president. Joe Biden helped Hillary and Bill Clinton with the crime bill in 1993. 20 years later, he helps Barack Obama become president. So Barack Obama has been in politics for 5 minutes. He runs for president. He wins. But the deep state, who gives Barack Obama the crown, bookends him with Joe Biden. He's been in office for 40 years, and Hillary Clinton. The Clintons have been in office for 30 years, and Barack Obama has been a junior senator from Chicago for 5 minutes. What do you guys think happened? I'll tell you what happened, the Ukraine conflict. Libya. I'll tell you what happened during Barack Obama. The Ukraine conflict. Yeah, that's why we're in the war with Ukraine. Libya. That's why we have this stable in the Middle East, because Hillary Clinton celebrated killing Gaddafi. Do y'all remember what happened in Libya under Hillary Clinton? Do you guys remember what happened with Hunter Biden and the Burisma board and Burisma, just like this $110,000? Hunter Biden was being paid on the board of Burisma, but no experience. He never worked in a board before. He never had a chairman position. He didn't know anything about energy. Burisma was the biggest, largest energy company in the Ukraine. And then we have a phone call with Joe Biden on the phone with the Ukraine, withholding $1 billion in aid if they don't do what he wants. Under Joe Biden and Barack Obama, in the Ukraine, they had a pro-Putin president. Did you know that? Before Zelensky, who was a comedian and an actor, Zelensky you might ask yourself, how did we get Zelensky? How did we get Zelensky? Joe Biden. Did you even know how you got Zelensky in the Ukraine? How do we get this whole Ukraine issue? Joe Biden, because Barack Obama didn't know anything about geopolitics. Senators go global. Did you know senators fly around the world? Senators go global. Senators are like presidents. Part of the senator's job is to go negotiate in other countries. Did you guys know that? The senator, you're a senator, you represent America. In what and where? Globally, the senators go around the globe. Joe Biden had been going around the globe for years, so he knew about the Ukraine. Do you understand? So we had a pro-Putin president in the Ukraine. Well, Joe Biden was the head of the U.S. policy for the Ukraine. And Joe Biden is the one who led the ousting of the pro-Putin president and installed Zelensky, the comedian television actor, and led to today. Also, Joe Biden was the one who trained the Azov battalion, the neo-Nazi national football hooligans that were enveloped into the Ukraine army on the day of revolution. The football hooligans, the racist neo-Nazi football hooligans of the Azov battalion became legitimized under Joe Biden. Joe Biden and Barack Obama trained neo-Nazis and made them into real soldiers, because they were just street gangs and hooligans. But so there were soldiers who came to the Ukraine. Those were American special forces. American special forces went to the Ukraine, trained street gangs who just so happen to be Nazi neo-nationalist Azov battalions to become soldiers in the National Day of Revolution that overthrew the current president and installed Zelensky. The leader of the Azov battalion became a member of parliament under Barack Obama and Joe Biden. I'm going to say this one more time. Barack Obama and Joe Biden helped proliferate and reignite Nazi neo-nationalism in Western Europe, and they also, let's keep going. Y'all didn't know about this stuff, man. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going, man. That was Minnesota. That was Minnesota. That was Minnesota. House Republicans accused D.C. police chief of funding crime, of fudging crime stats. Let's go to Washington, D.C., the safe zone. One of my biggest stories that I did was about Washington, D.C. and the female mayor. Now, listen to this. Everybody, I've been giving facts. I'm going to ask a big favor. Double tap at the like button if you're learning something. So, Washington, D.C., where Trump started his ICE deployment. Why? Because a young man by the name of Big Balls, listen to this story. I'm about to give you story time. Story time is going to be great. This is going to be a great story. So, Washington, D.C., what took place? Well, there was a young man who worked for something called the Doge Committee under Elon Musk. His name was Big Balls. He was in his early 20s. He was walking home from a party in downtown capital Washington District, Washington, D.C., capital of America, #1 country in the world. He's walking a female friend to her car, 2 o'clock in the morning. He works for the president. He works for Elon Musk, 2 billionaires. He doesn't have anything to fear. He's walking this girl to her car. He notices on the corner across from the car, 15 people with all black. He knows something is about to happen. He can feel it. They approach him. They start to beat him and try to take the keys. He's quick enough to get her in the car. She locks the door. They are not able to steal the car, so they start to beat him. He says to himself in his head, I gotta stay on my feet. If I fall to the ground, I may die. They beat Big Balls. We see a picture of Big Balls beaten, right? I'll bring it up. We see a picture of Big Balls beaten, and we hear about the attempted carjacking, right? So Trump says we're gonna put together an initiative, right? And we're going to go clean up these cities, right? And what we had is so we put together an initiative to clean up these cities, right? And then the people who beat up Big Balls got arrested. Here goes a picture. Here's a picture. I want to give you context. So here is he was beaten by this group of individuals trying to carjack this girl. Now, the individuals who beat him were a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, and another 15-year-old who were arrested. 3 14, 15-year-olds. One of them was a female. Did you guys know this? So the people who beat Big Balls were arrested. They were all 15-year-old black teenagers who were outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, what happened? The black female Democratic judge allowed them to go home. She gave them probation. Let me show you what they did. 15-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl attacks them at 2 o'clock in the morning, almost beat him to death. The black female liberal judge allowed them to go home and go back to school on probation. The people who did this are free. They never went to jail. They never got punished. Did you guys know this? The people who did this are free. They never went to jail. They never got punished because there was a black woman and a female Democratic judge, and these were black kids. One of them a black girl, a 14-year-old black girl with no parents. When she got arrested, she went into the system. I said one of the people who beat him up was a 14-year-old black girl with no parents. When she was arrested, she went into the system. The other 2 people got to go home and go to school with your kids. Now, What is happening right now in Washington, D.C.? Now, when Trump went to D.C., he made it a safe zone. In 1 week, I played video of blacks saying I can drive around Washington, D.C. with my windows down for the first time in 10 years. So now I play reports of the police chief. Now, there was a female mayor. There's a black female mayor in Washington, D.C. when this happened. So I did my research and I said, how did the corruption get so bad in D.C.? Well, what I found out is the black female mayor was the mayor for 11 years and had been elected to 3 terms. Did you know that? The female mayor of Washington, D.C. during this whole time had been in office for over 11 years. Her name is Muriel Bowser. She had been elected to 3 terms. Right? She has been in office since 2015 and not able to solve the problem in DC. A lot of people didn't know this. They say, hey, Trump is going to DC. Trump is bad. No, there was corruption and incompetence in the DC leadership and politics. The mayor in DC had been there for over 11 years. Now listen to story time. Here goes the story time right here. She came into office in 2015. So I did my research into Washington, D.C. I said, D.C. has been corrupt going back to Marion Barry. Who remembers Marion Barry, the crack-smoking D.C. mayor? Remember, he was caught smoking crack with a prostitute on video. Who remembers Marion Barry, the mayor of this is all going to be relevant. I'm going to get to the chief of police. The Marion Barry was the crack-smoking mayor caught. But this is the kicker for story time. They re-elected him. D.C. is known as Chocolate City. 80% black. So he gets caught smoking crack. That's not the gag. The gag is they re-elect him. Listen, he gets caught smoking crack. He gets re-elected. So everybody, now, he said, I remember the crack smoking mayor. Now, this is what, every time I bring this up, people say, why are you bringing up old shit? So I did my research. I said, you know what? Whatever happened to Marion Barry? Guess what I found out? Marion Barry, like Joe Biden, like Maxine Waters, like Nancy Pelosi, like Chuck Schumer, Marion Barry never left DC politics. Marion Barry never left DC politics. Listen to this. Muriel Bowser, mayor of DC, been mayor for over 11 years, came into power in 2015. Guess how long and when Marion Barry left DC politics? Marion Barry stayed in DC politics until 2015. He died in office like Feinstein. I can't make this up. So Marion Barry stayed in power till 2015, smoking crack, and then gave the baton to Bowser. Marion Barry stayed in power till 2015 and then gave the baton to Bowser. And Bowser has been in office for 11 years. She's been there 3 terms. They re-elected her 3 times, despite the escalating crime, despite the carjacking, despite the uncontrollable teenagers. She keeps getting re-elected. Now, along with a black female mayor, guess what else DC has? DC has a black female chief of police, or they used to. So when ICE got to DC, I did a story. I told my audience, I told my constituents, Trump is not racist. DC is corrupt, full of corrupt politicians like Chicago. The crack smoking mayor never left politics in DC. He stayed there to 2015. I believe he ushered in people like Bowser so that he still has power over DC. Bowser's been there 3 terms in 11 years. So when people were complaining about Trump going to DC, you know what I said? Blame Bowser. She's been there 3 terms and she hasn't fixed the crime. How can you blame Trump when you have a mayor for 11 years, 3 terms, and she's not held accountable for nothing? But don't stop there. You have and then they say black female, Letitia James, Fannie Willis. They say a black woman is supposed to fix everything, right? Well, DC had a black female mayor and a black female chief of police. Did you hear me? A black female mayor and a black female chief of police, but they still had crime and 14-year-old girls committing carjackings. House report accuses DC police chief of fudging crime stats. So she lied. This is why she got reelected 3 times, because both of these people were lying. The Democrats don't care about your life. The Democrats get reelected on your death. Now listen to the story I'm going to tell you about the black DC mayor and the black DC police chief and their lies, and why Trump had to go clean up Washington, DC. Why Trump had to go clean up Washington, DC. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to the gas. A Republican-led House Oversight Committee interim report released December 14, 2025 claims outgoing DC Metropolitan Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to manipulate crime stats for lower reported numbers. Interviews with 8 veteran commanders reveal reclassifications such as assault with a dangerous weapon becoming endangerment with the firearm. This is what's going on in Democratic cities. Where Democrats are not arresting criminals, where Democrats like Gavin Newsom are saying, hey, you can steal up to $1,000. Hey, you can be violent criminals and we're going to declassify your crime so I can get reelected and get a job. I don't care about violence. I don't care about Americans being scared. All I care about is me. Me, 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 me. Did you guys understand what I just said? This black woman declassified violent crimes so she could look good. What about the public? You're supposed to be protecting the public. If you declassify violent crime, there's more violent criminals to hurt Americans. What the fuck are you doing? Listen to this. A Republican-led House Oversight Committee interim report released December claims outgoing DC Metropolitan Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to manipulate crime stats. I argue they do this in all of the Democratic cities. Remember the Democratic Chief of Police under Jesse Smollett, that fat black man in Chicago? Remember Jesse Smollett? Remember Lori Lightfoot, another corrupt. Lori Lightfoot was a corrupt chief of police who became a corrupt mayor. Remember that? The chief of police after Lori Lightfoot was a fat black man who did not even get his retirement because he got found drunk in the police car. He kept getting found drunk in the police car, so he had to quit. Do y'all remember that black man who was the chief of police in Chicago, and he wanted to get Jesse Smollett so bad because he felt like Jesse Smollett was trying to embarrass him? He was a fucking drunk. He was a fucking corrupt, degenerate drunk. So bad, he didn't even get his fucking retirement after being the chief of police and working for 40 years as a police officer. He was such a fucking degenerate drunk, they had to fucking kick him out. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. That's the black police chief in Chicago. Can we talk about the black female police chief in Washington, D.C.? Why are we having corruption in Chicago? Rampant corruption in gangs. Why are the gangs so prolific in Chicago over years? Over years. Nothing? You don't do shit about the gangs in Chicago? Nothing? A Republican-led House Oversight Committee interim report released December 14th claims D.C. Metropolitan Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to manipulate crime stats, lie, lower reported numbers, and 8 veteran commanders revealed this is the most dangerous part. Reclassification such as assault with a dangerous weapon becoming endangerment with the firearm, making it so dangerous people get to walk free in our states, in our country's capital, alongside public berating and retaliatory transfers that created a culture of fear. Smith, who resigned December 8th to spend time with family and denied the allegations, oversaw reported drops. And let's get to it. Breaking news, a jaw-dropping report from the House just confirmed that the left-wing DC police chief falsified crime stats, cooking the books to make the city seem much safer than it was.
Find out.
This is just the facts, Jack, because they didn't want Trump there. They wanted to lie and say DC is safe, we don't need Trump here, so they lied. She thought this would save her job.
Led House Oversight Committee now releasing a report accusing the outgoing D.C. police chief of manipulating data to artificially lower crime statistics. Bill Malusian looking at the numbers. He's live on the Hill with this. Bill, what you find out?
Bill, good morning to you. Those House Oversight Committee Republicans say the bottom line of what their investigation found is that the outgoing D.C. police chief was essentially cooking the books on crime data and trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was. Now, those House Republicans say what their investigation consisted of was interviewing all 7 commanders of D.C. Metro Police's patrol districts, including a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. They allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower stats by any means necessary. The commanders testified that Chief Smith even pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office. Now, the report also says police commanders testified that Chief Smith punished them and retaliated against them if they tried to report accurate rising crime data, even berating them in meetings and individually to pressure them into reporting those lower crime figures.
So they're lying. Democratic cities are lying. Democratic cities are lying. We knew it. We live here. We see the violence.
Now, in a statement on the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says in part, quote, Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda.
That's how the Democrats work. That's how the Democrats work. That's how the Democrats.
The House Oversight Committee now releasing a report accusing the outgoing D.C. police chief.
So when you heard me earlier and I talk about the black female police chief, this is the black female police chief who lied.
Manipulating data to artificially.
And she quit. Just like Jasmine Crockett, just like MTG, she quit December 8th. She quit, you guys. She never was there for you. She quit.
Lower crime statistics. Bill Malusian looking at the numbers. He's live on the Hill with this. Bill, what you find out?
Bill, good morning to you. Those House Oversight Committee Republicans say the bottom line of what their investigation found is that the outgoing D.C. police chief was essentially cooking the books on crime data and trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was. Now, those House Republicans say what their investigation consisted of was interviewing all 7.
What's that right there, y'all? What?
Commanders of D.C. Metro Police's patrol districts, including a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report.
So this is the D.C. Look, as they talk about D.C. and all of the crime, all you had was black leadership. They were failing the black people of D.C. So when you hear about D.C. and crime, just know this is what the leaders of D.C. look like.
They allege that D.C. Metro Police.
Let's read it. Let's read it. It says the House Oversight Committee alleges D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime statistics by any means necessary. Commanders testified that the Chief Smith pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported for serious crimes, making the city more dangerous to live in. So if you were to arrest a violent felony criminal, right? So if a police officer arrested a violent criminal, right, who was known for being violent, carjacking, robbing, hitting, beating people, this black woman told them to charge them with something less that would not come up on her statistics, and that inadvertently, that would let that criminal go free to hurt somebody else. So when you see all these stabbings on the bus and everybody's like, well, how did he get out of jail so many times? Think about this, you guys, when we're watching this morning. A lot of you have seen recent reports, and I'm not defending it. You notice I haven't done a story about any of those guys who've been stabbing people on the train. Let me tell you how you get to somebody who's been arrested 30 times and then stabs a white woman on the train. This is how. This is why he's not in jail for the rest of his life, because the black, and you know, there's a black female chief of police in Memphis where if you find a crime where you see somebody black stabbing the white girl and then you see, oh, he's been arrested 30 times, he should have been in jail. I promise you it can be tied back to Democratic corruption, because in red states, they don't play that. In red states, they don't play that. If you black and you get in crime, you go to jail. You go to Louisiana. Look at Louisiana with Bootsy, and there's a plantation. Angola is a fucking plantation. They wanted to put Bootsy in jail for 15 years for marijuana. In Louisiana, you go to jail to a plantation for marijuana. You hear what I'm saying? In Democratic states, they letting people go free and lowering their crimes so violent people are walking around, and that's what happened to big balls. Why is somebody stabbing? Why have they been arrested 35 times? Well, and then they go through the report. He was arrested for this. He was arrested for this. He was arrested for this. But he got released. Well, they lowered the charges. So he got arrested for attempted murder, but the police chief said, no, charge him with this. That way he gets out of jail in 6 months. He should have been in jail for 15 years. He should have been in jail for 15 years, but the chief of police said, let me read it. Commander testified that the Chief Smith pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't even publicly reported for serious crimes. So a crime, he got arrested for a crime, he would have been in jail for 15 years. But the black female liberal Democratic chief of police said, charge him with this. He got out in 6 months, stabbed a white girl in the neck. I can't make this up. You can't make this up. I know a lot of you at home were upset. You think it's a racial thing. Oh, the black guys are stabbing white girls. And that's not a racial thing. It's not a racial thing. It's incompetent politicians, brothers. It's incompetent Democratic liberal politicians who are cheating the system. The system is there. The laws are there. If you break the law, you're supposed to go to jail. But in these Democratic enclaves, they're letting them go free. I told you, the kids who beat up and carjacked big balls got probation. They didn't do 1 day in jail. 14-year-old girl, 15-year-old boy, another 15-year-old boy, all black, all got probation for attempted murder and carjacking from a black female Democratic liberal judge. The judge said it would be better for them to go home. But I don't want my children to go to school with those kids. Those kids need to be in prison. My kids should be able to go to school and not feel scared because they're in the classroom with somebody who carjacked somebody last week and they're free. They just did a carjacking and attempted murder, and now they're in the same classroom as my son and daughter. How is that better for me? My kids didn't carjack anybody. Why do my kids have to go to school with fucking violent criminals? Because liberals want to have good lies and statistics. Bombshell, DC police commanders not only stated Chief Pamela pressured staff to cook the books on crime data, they also confirmed President Trump's law and order surge in DC is effective. Read the transcript. It says a different commander expressed their support for President Trump's federal surge. Commander H, November 2025. Have you found the surge to be helpful in your district? Yeah, I would be lying if I said it didn't. It did. It really helped. It mainly helped my property crime numbers. Did you hear that? The police are being honest about the statistics and the fact that the surge helped and that the chief of police lied. She straight up lied, y'all.
Claim there are pressures on.
Let's go to another report. Let's go to another report. We're talking about ICE in DC. We're talking about ICE in DC. We're talking about the black mayor and the black chief of police, both black women, both corrupt, both black women, both corrupt, both liars, both causation for why DC was so violent, criminal for so long. Let's get to it, everybody.
The report is based on interviews with DC police commanders who claim there are pressures on personnel to lower the classifications of crimes to create the impression that crime is low. It says in part that testimony from commanders paints a troubling picture of department leadership placing a higher priority on suppressing public reporting of crime statistics than stopping crime itself. The report says there was an emphasis on what's called the daily crime report.
Did you hear that? This is Democratic City. It said the priority was placed on the statistics instead of stopping crime. Those of us who live in California and Democratic cities, we already know the police don't care about crime. We already know the criminals get to do whatever they want. The police pick on people, right? And this report says that the police care more about the statistics than stopping crime. If you want to know why Chicago is so bad, if you want to know why East St. Louis is so bad, This is why it's so bad.
Itself. The report says there was an emphasis on what's called the Daily Crime Report, which has 9 categories of felony offenses, and the chief was so preoccupied with the statistics of the select crimes that were made public that she incentivized her subordinates to lower those crimes by whatever means necessary. Commanders told the committee that they were pressured and at times directed to lower crime stats to lesser offenses so they would not be included in the public reporting. It says there are concerning accounts about a toxic management culture created by the chief, a culture of fear, intimidation, threats, and retaliation by Chief Smith, and that Smith regularly took action against her subordinates who failed to aid in the preservation of her public image. For example, one of the commanders was asked, "Would you say there was a pattern of retaliation?" Answer, yes. We've had commanders who have been moved out of their commands for, legitimate questions or suggestions that was seen as disloyal. Another question to a commander, how would you characterize the culture at the Metropolitan Police Department? Answer, toxic.
This is why DC needed Trump. This is why DC needed Trump, and this is why the Stockton mayor beg for federal help. Somebody mentioned the gas prices. You are absolutely right. Somebody mentioned the gas prices. You are absolutely right. One of the major stories today was the gas prices. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for reminding me. Let's get into the gas prices. Double tap at the like button, like, share, and subscribe. U.S. gas prices dropped to the lowest in over 4 years. Right now, everybody put the state. Everybody put your state, and put how much you paying for gas. Put your state, and I don't use food stamps or government. Put your state and put how much you pay for gas. Put your state, put how much you paying for gas. Let me give you these record gas lows. This is a record low since 2021. Double tap at the like button. I'm going to ask a big favor. If you learning something, or you being educated, or you being entertained, hit the like button. Kentucky gas, $2.69. Missouri, $2.49. Come on, everybody. Tap in right now. Put in your gas. Put in your state. Put in your state. I need some new. Ain't nobody made a joke about this yet. Ain't nobody made a joke. Y'all be making jokes. Make a joke about this. This shit has been empty for 5 days. I do a podcast every day. Look, you're supposed to spin it. It's supposed to go up. This shit has been empty. Look it. Look, ain't nobody broke. Ain't nobody. Look, I've been trying to put this on my lips. It ain't nothing in here. It ain't nothing in here. I smoke. I'm a smoker. You don't see my black lips? I have this because I'm a smoker. CA 375. What's that say? Nigeria wasn't an oil tanker taken from Nigeria. We ain't doing the oil tanker shit again. But I did oil tanker last week. It was a great show. You can go look at that great show. The reason why oil tankers, and it's not just one, I reported it was 25 oil tankers have been taken. And it's actually helping gas prices go down. 2 things about the gas and the oil. Why is gas going down in oil? Shell. Do y'all remember the Shell depository? SHELL. Well, the Shell gas, remember in the first Trump administration, he talked about tapping the Shell gas. Well, because Shell gas has been tapped, we are now 99% sufficient. That means America produces 90% of the oil it consumes. We don't need Venezuelan oil. We don't need Nigerian oil. Venezuelan oil is crude. It is dirty. It is expensive to extract. It is more expensive to refine to make it into fuel. A lot of this you don't know. We produce 14 barrels per every 1 barrel of Venezuelan crude and oil, and it's a lot cheaper to refine and extract and easier to refine and extract American oil. America is the number one country for a reason. We have enough energy. Russia and China have to trade for coal, and they have billions of people. They have barren land. Russia and China are both in a Eurasian Iceland, right? It's the Siberia, right? So Russia and China cannot grow food to feed all of its people. They have to trade, right? They trade their natural resources. America is the only world power that we have all four things. We don't need to trade with anybody for anything. We don't need oil. We don't need food. We don't need textiles. We don't need anything. That's why America first works. This is why it always should have been America first. It always should have been America first because America is uniquely positioned to be America first. We don't need to trade. I mean, I love the global economy and I love my global brothers and sisters, but America doesn't need to trade for anything. We have the oil, we have the clothing, we have everything we need. Baby, what did you eat for lunch? It's 3 o'clock. I'm starving. Did you bring me lunch? What am I gonna eat? What did you eat for lunch? Texas Oil, LOL, been watching Landman. Texas Oil. I just wanted to tell them that. Okay, so U.S. gas prices dropped to the lowest in over 4 years. The national average for regular gasoline now sits at $2.85 to $2.91. Last week when I first reported this, the national average was $3 in some states seeing $2.75. Today, we got reports at $2.30 in the chat in Alabama. $2. Do you know what that means for Christmas? Do you know what that means for parents? Now, Alabama, how much did you pay last year at this time? Texas, $2.29. Texas, how much did you pay last year at this time? Because now we're going to talk about Trump giving you a rebate. Sock it to my pocket. Portland, $2.99. How much did you pay last year at this time? Phoenix, Arizona, $3.30. How much did you pay last year at this time? Let's talk about Trump socking it to your pocket. Black Queen in Texas, you paid $2.29. How much did you pay last year at this time? Tell me how Trump has socked it to your pocket. How when you filled up last week, you had an additional $40 in your pocket that you wouldn't have had last year if you had to pay $4 a gallon, right? You were live, didn't want to bug you for lunch money, LOL. You lied. Groceries are higher. Groceries are not higher. We just bought eggs for $6 for 50,000 eggs. Eggs are down. I remember under Trump, I paid $12 for a dozen eggs. I was at Costco. I got the 5 dozen pack. Do you know I haven't bought the 5 dozen pack? Remember, that's all people would buy at Costco. With the gray, you know what I'm saying? The gray one like this, 5 dozen eggs, $6. $6. I paid more than that for a dozen eggs during the Biden administration. My wife is right here. $2 for 18 eggs, right? $2 for 18 eggs, right? I paid $6 for 5 dozen. I haven't done that in 20 years. I got eggs up the wazoo. I don't know what you're talking about. Strawberries out of stock. I don't know I'm in California. So we got fruit. You've always had issues with fruit. Now, for the people talking shit in the chat, right? Because I know they trolling. Let's tell them what else is true about food and grocery prices when gasoline goes down. Does anybody drive tractor trailers? Can we shut down the trolls in the chat? Can we shut down the liars? Can we shut down the liars? Anybody drive a tractor trailer? Anyone work in logistics? Anyone want to tell the liars in the chat what happens to groceries when gas prices go down this much? Because the way you get your groceries is in a fucking truck. Hello? Can anybody tell them, Can anybody tell them what happens to groceries and consumer goods when the gas gets this low? It directly affects how much you pay for your goods. It directly affects how much your food and your goods cost. When the gas prices go up, groceries go up, right? Prices go down. When the gas goes down, for those who drives big rigs, the cost of your goods, when you ship things, you have to factor that. Shipping is huge. Shipping and logistics, when you talk about the oil, when you talk about drug boats, listen, when we talk about drug boats, when we talk about oil tankers, this is all shipping and logistics, brothers and sisters. Shipping and logistics is huge. So when you have gas prices going down, it's gas for the airplane. It's gas for the cruise liner that brings the goods from China. They buy oil and gas. The airplane buys oil and gas. The semi trucks buy oil and gas. When oil and gas is down this low, the logistics get cheaper, goods come down because corporations want to make more money. They can put things on sale, they can sell more products because they have to spend less on logistics. Grocery prices are not up, so you're out of here. You're out of here. You can go say that stupid shit somewhere else. Grocery prices and inflation is down. Mortgage rates are down. Everything is down. It just was high from Biden. It's still high because Biden made it high. It's more money in my pocket. Exactly. It's more money in truckers' pockets. It's less money he has to spend on gas, and then the prices come tumbling down. That's it. Did you hear the story about Trump possibly federalizing weed? Did you hear about that? Is that a rumor? Was that a rumor about Trump federalizing weed? Is there any truth to that? I saw that. Oh, veteran, I bless God, bless that man. Yeah, man, God bless Trump and the memory of Charlie Kirk, man. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking the truth. It was high then, let me tell. Possible rescheduling, not federal. Yeah, I saw. Okay, what's the difference? What's the difference between yeah, because it's like a class A and it would be rescheduled to what, a class B or to a class C. Ain't that fucked up? Marijuana was always scheduled at a higher class than cocaine, huh? Farmers that aren't getting the bailout are crowd. Manuel, you saying a lot. You're gonna have to give me a super chat. Current situation as of December 15th, there's a major buzz and reporting about Trump planning to reschedule. Thank you. My chat is I got the best chat. W chat. Salute to the best chat on YouTube. W chat. And y'all did that quick. Y'all quick. Y'all not only intelligent, y'all quick. Y'all did that quick. Woo! He said, woo, rescheduling. Man, I got the best chat. I was a cop. We was scheduled 1 with LSD. Ain't that stupid? Bro, who said something about Charlie Kirk? I was saying God bless Charlie Kirk when somebody said God bless the country and God bless the president. Whenever someone says God bless the president, it makes me think about Charlie Kirk and his children, right? Who don't have a father. It's Christmas. So I don't know about you, bro, but I love America. I love my country. I love Charlie Kirk. And it's fucked up what happened to Charlie Kirk. It's even worse what those kids are going to go through. So yeah, man, I said, God bless Charlie Kirk. And I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. If you don't like Charlie Kirk, you should get out of here now. Right now, because I will take the time. I got time today, because I will take the time to roast yo bitch ass. Don't say shit about Charlie Kirk in my chat. He is untouchable. Charlie Kirk is untouchable in my chat. Pussy. Y'all make me sick. God bless his memory, brother. And God bless his children. God bless his legacy. Every time, see, the thing about Charlie Kirk and the Democrats and the trolls, you know why I hate the Democrats and the trolls and minorities who talk shit? I know that Charlie Kirk was not platformed. I'm a content creator. Charlie Kirk was not mainstream. What the fuck are you laughing at? What the fuck are you laughing at? What the fuck are you laughing at, pussy? What the fuck are you laughing at, pussy? Charlie Kirk was not mainstream, right? This is what I hate about those guys. They don't even know who he is or his message. You had to go find Charlie Kirk, because those last 4 years under Biden felt like a decade where they shadow banned everybody. They hid Andrew Tate. They hid Steven Crowder. They hid Charlie Kirk. I know Candace Owens doesn't like Steven Crowder, but I always like Steven Crowder. Charlie Kirk got his debate style from Steven Crowder. And you know what? Steven Crowder was deplatformed. You got to go look for him on Mug Club and Rumble. Charlie Kirk was you could not find Charlie Kirk videos the way you find them today. So when people say all this stuff about Charlie Kirk, I know they're filled with hate because Charlie Kirk was not platformed. His videos did not come up in your FYP. You have to go look for when Biden was president just months ago. If you wanted to hear Charlie Kirk, you had to go find him. So when people act like Charlie Kirk interfered with their life or they knew who he was, I know they're haters. I know that they're haters because I watch Steven Crowder. I watch Charlie Kirk, and they are not on your FYP. Charlie Kirk was never on your YouTube front page. Russell Brand, just never. So they are all lying. All of my conservatives watching and listening right now, don't never listen to a liberal tell you anything about Charlie Kirk. What you need to know right now from a content creator is that they were not platformed. If they were not looking, and if you would look, you would find him in Christian media, Christian circles, because his primary cause was that making it popular for white men to go back to church, right? Because with feminism and liberalism, men in America no longer feel comfortable praising God, going to church, and being husbands and fathers and putting God and country first. We've been told that you need to put minorities first because you have white privilege. You need to put women first. You need to put children first. Don't put your salvation first because you're a white man and you have so much given to you. You can't put your salvation first. Y'all don't even know Charlie Kirk's message. Then Charlie Kirk worked with Candace Owens to create Blexit. And he had a convention with black conservatives every year. The goal of Blexit was to educate black Americans on the platform of the DNC and why you should not vote Democrat based on the platform. I hear talk about Kamala Harris a lot. When I talk about Kamala Harris, I bring up the DNC, I bring up the platform. When I talk about Epstein, I bring up DNC, I bring up the platform. Kamala Harris never went to convention. Kamala Harris was not chosen by the DNC. Today's youth do not know the process of a Democratic convention and what Kamala Harris circumvented. They don't know what she skipped. They don't know how Kamala skipped. They know she skipped the line, but they don't know what she skipped. The DNC still has $32,000 of Jeffrey Epstein money right now. I had to give a little education. Let's get to the gas so I can go get something to eat. I'm hungry. Charlie was just trying to have a conversation with young people. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. I agree. And I love this message. I love Charlie Kirk's message. I love Charlie Kirk's message. I love that he was brave in this day and era about loving God and having spirituality and faith. You see how my numbers go down? Today is not the time for faith. I'm a faithful person, but I never talk about faith because my numbers go down. You can't talk about God. You can't talk about faith. Your numbers go down. So yeah, Charlie deserves so much accolades, brother. He was brave in his faith. He was brave in his commitment to his country and his brother. And people who hate him just are pieces of shit without character, brother. They're pieces of shit without character. That's all. That's all. That's all. Straight up. Straight up. No character. U.S. gas prices dropped to the lowest in over 4 years. The national average for regular gasoline now sits at $2.85. I'm done. I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. I'm done. I'm hungry. I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.